We begin this broadcast by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which this match will be played today and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. We extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples listening.
And the moment of truth has arrived.
If you think you have anything other than a split second in this game right now, you're kidding yourself.
He's all to play for.
Every single bloke has stood up.
They are leaving nothing out there.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else on earth.
Welcome to ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL Premiership season.
From 55, side bottom, launches, goal! The Crows Magpies are on top of the AFL world. They win a spellbinding game of footy. Colin, what a practice!
This is ABC Sport.
The umpire holds the footy up.
You want your very best players having the ball in the moments that matter.
Take your moment. This is that moment.
Something's in the air. Listen to the roar.
Feel a different energy.
The pressure's certainly gone up.
Feel it on your skin.
Punches the air with the right hand.
Feel the electricity.
That's why we love football.
Brilliant to watch. Stand by. The arms are outstretched as he pumps his chest out.
Fill your lungs, fill your lungs. Are you ready for it?
Wherever you are, do not move.
We're going the full journey.
'Cause here it comes, here it comes.
This is the 2024 AFL Premiership season.
From outside 50, goes bang with everything he's got.
Former bad boy looking to redeem himself with kicks like that.
Something big is coming, something big is coming.
One step nonchalant banana finish. Wow. Charlie Cameron snaps, goals.
Something big is coming.
Hey Siri, play John Denver.
AFL.
From deep in the pocket. Oh, that is amazing.
Fill your lungs. Are you ready for it?
This guy wants it at home on the biggest stage.
And Gordon can finish from 35. Oh, Errol.
It's there.
Superb finish.
What a hanger.
He joins the party.
Whacks through the goal. Oh, what a moment.
Brilliant, wasn't it?
There's nothing this man can't do. Rioli with some magic. The check side finish. He seizes the moment. Stolen. Snapped it over his shoulder. He's kicked an absolute ripper.
Spins around and buries it.
Lightning's made Bobby Hill. He's Bobby Thrill.
This is just football at its best.
Weaves around an opponent and gets a brilliant goal.
Gathers, snaps, she'll bring the house down. Time to steady and pull the trigger. Right foot drop punt is pure. We're not done yet.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season on radio, Sport Digital, and take us with you on the ABC Listener. Just look for the AFL button.
Something big is coming, I know.
The Hawks haven't lost since round 10 of the AFL season. The Eagles haven't won since then. Two very different teams with their form lines face each other at Perth Stadium. Cool conditions, but bright blue skies, and bluer skies indeed for the West Coast Eagles, with the return of their young superstar Harley Reid back from suspension, also joining him back in the team. One of their most influential players, Tim Kelly, back as well. It's the Eagles and the Hawks. Clint Wilden with you. Great to have your company wherever you are around the nation. Alongside me, he's made the flight back from Sydney. Good to see you, Mitch Turner.
Great to be back here, Clint, and exciting to see the Hawks in town in Perth. They're playing such good footy the past, 2 months really, winning 6 of their past 7 in that game. You mentioned they lost in round 10 to Port Adelaide. Was under the most heartbreaking of circumstances, giving away that goal to Darcy Byrne-Jones with 5 seconds left on the clock. But terrific to see the strongest side we've seen from the Eagles in quite some time. As you mentioned, Harley Reid back, Tim Kelly, Elliot Yeo, all in the midfield. And, of course, Oscar Allen there alongside Harley Reid as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they line up today in difficult circumstances for Elliot Yeo on the passing of his father. But he will be out there today, Clint, so we can see him. He's been named in the side.
He has been. So the teams are through. And just to bring you that Elliot Yeo, the question mark, his father, Craig, passed away on Monday. The Eagles said they'd give him until the last minute to see if he would want to play. He's decided to do so. So just the 2 changes for West Coast, Reid and Kelly the ins, Petruccelli and Hutchison's the outs. Petruccelli through the hamstring injury, Hutchison omitted. For Hawthorn, Brewster's been rested. Morrison is the inclusion. So no late changes. Morrison also for the Hawks will be their sub. It's Ryan Marrick for the West Coast Eagles. This is, I would say, probably the strongest side that West Coast has been able to put together in some time. Of their keys, Only Petrocelli, Sheed, Long, Hewitt and Bazzo unavailable for this game. The Eagles have had a long injury list now going somewhere in the vicinity of 3.5 seasons. But can they beat the Hawks today? Let's find out from our experts. Dual Premiership player Chris Waterman. Alongside him, Collingwood Premiership player Sharad Wellingham. Welcome, gents.
Good afternoon. Beautiful afternoon for football, isn't it? Couldn't get much better than this.
Big one for West Coast to test themselves. Despite losing to Essendon the other day by 30 points, they weren't uncompetitive, and they've been pretty solid in losses to St Kilda and to North Melbourne, but the Hawks come across in red-hot form.
Well, I think that outside of Sydney and Carlton, they're probably the most intimidating side in the league at the moment. They're definitely in form. They're playing a really exciting brand of football that Mitch has got them playing. It's got them up and about, and the confidence with that young group is definitely showing week in, week out, and it's going to be a really big challenge for West Coast, but I think that they'll be up for it. Like you said, the ability to put their best side out there in a long time. They'll also go into the game really confident with the way that they've been able to produce the style and type of football that I think that they will be aiming to improve on.
Yeah, it could be end-to-end football today. I mean, West Coast, as you say, have their strongest lineup. That doesn't mean it's going to work today. A lot of these guys haven't played footy together, to be honest. I mean, Oscar and Harley haven't played footy together. But Hawthorn are trending in the right direction and are trending where West Coast want to head. So these two teams could be heading north on the ladder. West Coast will probably take a little bit longer, but yeah, as Shaz said, Hawthorn have been catching everyone off guard the last 6 or 7 weeks. I thought it was a fluke early, but they've just kept going.
Do you reckon the forward line is functioning as well with as many tools in there as it was early on in the season?
Well, they've dropped one out. Young Hutchinson's out of the 23 and Marich is the sub. So they've taken 2 out of last week's team. So that's a much better balanced team from my point of view. And it was either Williams or Marich was going to be sub. So they're going with the 2 rucks. So Bailey will probably start on the bench, you'd think, and play some time forward.
Really keen to get your thoughts. We'll talk to Jared Schofield in just a moment. But if you're Hawthorn, when they added Finn McGuinness to the squad, we thought, this is an obvious move to perhaps try and tag Harley Reid. He's stayed as an emergency, but Nash can do a tag role as well. The game changed. The St Kilda game changed in particular. Harley Reid was dominant. St Kilda moved Windhager to him. It was a great coaching move from Ross Lyon. I'm convinced that it had an enormous impact on the outcome of that game. If you're the Hawks, would you tag Harley Reid from the start today? And I know that there are other players who can do you damage, Kelly, Yo, for example, but would you think about throwing someone onto Harley right from the get-go?
I think it's something that they'd plan for being able to bring in. So I don't think they go to it straight away because they'll try and just play the way that they want to play. And if Harley or anybody starts getting off the chain and they have to rein them in, then they'd go to it, wouldn't they? They wouldn't go from the get-go, I believe.
Yeah, the question is, do you just jump on Kelly and stop him getting back into form straight away and try and keep him quiet and take care of one of them? Because Yoey's capable of busting open. Even a Nash, who's a big bloke, he's capable of busting through. And I'm expecting if Yoey's going to play today, he's going to go pretty ballistic.
Yeah. My Birds thread was just saying the exact same thing. The boys reckon that Yoey will have an absolute blinder today.
I knew Craig. I've known Craig for over 40 years, and he would have said, "You're playing footy today. Don't worry about anything else, but you go and play footy," and that's the way it is in that family. So I expect Elliot to have a real red-hot crack on the boys to follow him and get right in behind him today. So, but going to the tag, there's no doubt that they are going to jump onto someone at some stage during the game. It wasn't till half-time against the Saints. Just that West Coast didn't do anything about it, and they also threw Wood forward, who kicked the 3 or 4 goals in the second half. So you don't have to be a rocket scientist to change the game of footy. It was 2 very simple moves that made the difference in that game.
Fascinating to see what happens. It could be a cracking game today between these two sides. The Hawks not far away from making their way out onto the ground. The umpires are walking out there now. Let's head downstairs. And Akash Vadadar got a special guest with him. Akash.
Thanks, Clint. I've got West Coast Eagles midfield coach Jared Schofield with me, been good enough to join us before the bounce. Jared, how big a boost is it to your midfield group to have Tim Kelly and Harley Reid back in this week?
Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? It's going to be exciting to see them work with Liam Ryan and Tyler Brockman in the midfield. And, obviously, the experience of Yoey as well. We're looking forward to it with a couple of rucks. So hopefully the boys are up for the challenge, which obviously against Hawthorn's midfield is going to be a big one.
That was going to be my next question. We can still expect to see the likes of Liam Ryan and Tyler Brockman attend centre bounces and run through the midfield?
Yeah, for sure. I think they had 7 between them, 7 clearances last week between them. They provide something a little bit different. Their speed on the floor is something that's important in the modern game. So yeah, we'll definitely see that again.
And with Harley back in, there's been a lot of talk around tagging and the attention he might get. How prepared are you if he gets tagged, and what sort of things do you have in place to help him out if someone goes to him?
Yeah, look, the whole team's fully aware that we need to look after anyone that gets tagged, and obviously if it's Harley, being a guy in only 11th or 12th game, so we've got to make sure we look after him. So we've given him some tools to obviously work through, but at the same time, he's a young man. We don't want to give too much. He's got to keep expressing himself, but more importantly, he's got the support of his teammates around him. So we've got some things in place, and we'll see what unfolds.
Great. I'll throw it upstairs to our team. Mitch Turner, Clint Wheeldon, Sharad Wellingham and Chris Waterman.
Scully, Muddy,
mate.
Are you still doing one-arm push-ups?
Mate, that's why I've done my shoulder.
Just quietly, you guys would be wrapped internally with the development of Brody Hoff in the back line. He just gets the job done every week for you guys.
Yeah, he's had some big roles this year and taken out some big scalps. So, yeah, look, he's been fantastic. What you probably don't see behind closed doors is his body's been a bit battered and he's had to play through some adversity over the last probably month, and he's still fulfilling his role. So, yeah, he'll get another job this week. They've got a talented forward line, and, he's going to have his work cut out for him.
And just on the Harley Reid situation, is it going to be a bit of a forward line role for him to sort of come in off and just shake that tag at some stage during the game?
No, we'll start him on ball where he's more comfortable, and then we've got some things and some levers that we can pull should it be a hard tag, and obviously the option is he can go forward, he can also go back for us. So yeah, we'll obviously assess that, but as I said before, it's about making sure the guys around him are supporting not only him, but it could be Yowie as well, who might get the tag. So we're just prepared, but yeah, definitely Harley can go forward if we need it.
Scotty, Mitch Turner here. Great to chat to you pre-game. Matt Flynn, obviously, he's been back in the side the past few weeks, building into his AFL fitness. I know Kyle Horsley, he deals. No, Luke Shuey now. I'm going to turn around. Luke Shuey deals with the stoppages.
Yep.
So many good midfielders running through that program. Luke Shuey deals with the stoppages directly, but how much has Matt Flynn helped you be able to go more offensive and attacking in the way you set up in the midfield now that you have a genuine tap ruckman?
Well, the hit-out differential is definitely squared off over the last 3 or 4 weeks. We're still working through that connection piece with him, having him out there. So that's one area of our game that we want to make sure we get on the front foot with early on in the game. We against North Melbourne a couple of weeks back, we weren't connected early on, but we showed how connected we can be in that last quarter. So definitely want to get on the front foot, and we just got to make sure we're organised and we're competing really well. And we listen to Flinny and obviously follow his lead.
Hawthorn have also structured up really, really well down back this year in terms of containing contested marks from the opposition. In the way you move the ball forward, have you been able to pinpoint how you're going to be able to avoid dumping those long kicks that favour the Hawthorn backline?
Yeah, obviously they've got Sicily. He's the one that stands out that can take, and they've got Weedle as well. So they've got some talent in the air. We've got to make sure, we're composed in the front half and we look after the football. And we want the guys not to be too obviously restricted with the decisions that they make. But we've got some levers that we can pull with how we move the ball.
Jared Schofield's with us from the West Coast Eagles, one of the assistants to Adam Simpson. Clint Wheeldon here. Jared, question for you. Really pleased to see Elliot Yeo out there. We know it's been a tough week with the loss of his father. How's he coping?
Yeah, look, Yoey's a strong character, anyone that knows him personally, and I know that his late father and obviously had a big week passing, but I know his dad would want him to be out here playing, and that's why we're seeing him out here today. And the boys in the club and everyone's really wrapped their arms around it, but Yoey being a pro, he's trained on Thursday with us. He seems like he's in a good space, but we'll look after him out there today, and I'm sure he'll play the Elliot Yeo way that we come to expect.
Last one for you. Oscar Allen coming back last week after a long time out. 2-4 from memory. Could have kicked a bag. He looked like he just needed to shake some of the rust off. Is he ready and raring to go again?
Well, he's ready and raring to go. He's been ready and raring to go for about 6 weeks. But I'd like to hope that he has shaken off the rust. He could have kicked the bag last week and would have been nice. But look, he's trained well. He's pulled up really well. The knee was great. It was just the rest of his body was a bit sore. But he's right to go, and he's looking forward to the opportunity and the challenge to go against these blokes.
Looking forward to the game. Thanks, Goey.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Jared Schofield downstairs with a cash voted. Both teams have run out onto the ground. I did like West Coast banner. They put a bit of thought into it today. We agree on birds and like our footy bold, but we're proud to say blue looks better with gold. Not bad. A win in the West is always best from Hawthorn, playing a fairly straight bat when it comes to banners. West Coast,
I didn't mind that.
Their banner squad have had a real dip since they've returned.
They've had a few years to prepare for some, some banner action.
That's not bad from you.
a few in the canners, you'd say, in the media industry, ready to go and roll out.
Yeah, they've been biding their time.
It was good, though.
Just keeping an eye on, hopefully it's nothing, but Jake Waterman ran onto the ground with the team and then ran off with the trainer about 3 or 4 minutes ago. Hasn't re-emerged. There he is. I was just keeping an eye on it. I was just...
Might have just
sometimes you need to go to the bathroom.
I thought maybe
just a pit
well,
stop.
that's what I thought. And then he had the trainer come over and I thought, hopefully he's just got the wrong studs on or something like that and he's just changing it. But he's back out there, so that is good news for the Eagles fans.
What's the feedback been from Jake to you on the ground and what it's like at the moment? Because I was out there last week and I said it during the week on Sports Talk. It's horrendous. Like, it is horrendous underfoot.
Haven't really asked him, to be honest.
But
I'm hearing it is. I mean, Tommy Rash was on the front foot during the week. He blatantly said it's horrible. So, which is not good coming from one of the local players. So they've got to do better. I mean, it looks like there's a bit of sand down there, doesn't it? So they might have just it up a bit, but even that becomes slippery.
What we might do is we spoke a fair bit about it last week, but Akash Fodadar is downstairs. He's had a little wander on it as well. Akash, what can you tell us? What is the surface like?
Yeah, you're right, Clint. I did go for a bit of a wander, particularly along this sort of northern broadcast wing and forward flank area. And as everyone says, it is really, really slippery underfoot. Now, obviously, I'm not wearing footy boots, but I'm only walking very gently across it, and you don't feel sure of your footing at all. So I can only imagine how tricky it is for AFL players trying to change direction at high speed. And when you actually look closely at the turf, I think Shara described it during the week on Extra Time, is you see these big patches of mud and the shoots or the blades of grass coming through, but it's almost like a grid pattern of mud that just kind of shifts around when you walk on it. So, yeah, I can understand why players are concerned, because as just a punter, I guess, walking across it slowly, you don't feel sure of your footing.
Not great to hear.
No, it's not great. Not great at all.
We have been told expected change in the next 2 weeks. That was the press release that came out from the stadium about the conditions of the turf, and it has been an understandable talking point. There's been some concerns for a couple of years. It hasn't looked a picture, and it hasn't been an issue because it doesn't really matter if it doesn't look great, provided it plays okay. But
Flynn has just fallen over.
Yeah,
literally.
Yep.
The chunk out of the ground right next to it.
Straight away looked down at his right boot as if to go, what on earth happened there? But the northern wing, they've never got sorted out. You quite often, if you hear it in events at night time, you'll see the grow lights on the northern wing. But when Jeremy Sharp slipped over last week just trying to change direction on the southern wing, that's when everyone went, no, there is a real issue here. So whether or not we see it happen today, we can only hope for the best as the stadium does its best to try and get it better, but it simply isn't good enough for what is a world-class stadium in every other respect. If you've just joined us, score from earlier today, Port Adelaide by 2 points over St Kilda, and the game between Richmond and Carlton is underway. We'll keep you up to date with this throughout the afternoon. The Blues have got away to a solid start in this one too against the Tigers, and at half-time they lead 7-8-50 to 6-2-38. So Carlton up 7-8-50 to 6-2-38. The game not far away, the Eagles and the Hawks. Hawthorn looking to win 5 straight games for the first time since 2018. The Eagles looking to end a run of 4 consecutive losses. How does it all play out, gents? We've had a little chat about what Harley Reid might expect, and also the poor situation with Elliot Yeo and thoughts with the Yeo family. But what else do you think will pan out today when the Eagles and the Hawks go head-to-head? Chris Waterman and Sharad Wellingham with you on ABC Sport.
I'm expecting a pretty good game of footy. You'd think on paper it looks like evenly matched, heading in the same direction. Oscar second up. Be interesting to see how he goes. Did he throw everything at it last week and just get the accuracy wrong? Still got to work on all that sort of stuff with those boys up forward. Kelly, Reid and Yeo have had some time together in the middle, so that looked really good when they were there. So whether that comes back in, but early on in the year that was without Flynn. Now they've got Flynn in there, so It'll be interesting to see. There'll be a really good midfield battle here, and expecting, as I said earlier, expecting the ball to go end to end.
Yeah, I think it will go end to end. I think that the midfields, as we say every week, the midfields will have a huge impact on the game. But I think that West Coast's back line will halt Hawthorn's forward forays a little bit too well. I think that they're too strong in the air, but also have the ability to, when the ball hits the ground, take it away pretty easy. And I don't think that Chol, Ginnivan, who I know is a small forward, but I don't think he puts on that much pressure. Deere, Watson, they're not going to be able to put on enough pressure to keep it in there, and I think we're going to see it come out reasonably easily.
Well, you would think that Mitch, having been here in the past, knows Tommy Brass and Gov pretty well, so I'm not expecting Hawthorn to go long and deep to those two because they're in good nick. Interesting to see who Brody Hoff goes to. Does he go to Ginnivan or does he go to Cashla Deere? Coley might get the job on Ginnivan. So yeah, interesting.
When you look at Chol and Ginnivan, and I mean Hardwick's played a bit down there. They like getting it in long. That's the way they like to have it. They're not really hit-up players.
That suits West Coast.
And so it's going to suit West Coast just down to a T. And I know, like you said, Mitch spent plenty of time with the boys, knows them very well and the way they like to play. But I just don't see, how else they're going to get the ball in there without kicking it to them. I think midfielders are really good at hitting the scoreboard. That might be their avenue is maybe hitting the scoreboard through the midfield.
Well, they've still got young Watson who's come in. He's going to be hard to cover, and Moore's spending time in the midfield, but he does go hard forward, and he's a goal scorer. So they've got multiple options. Chol is a real jumper too, so you
could see some nice aerial contests today.
Yeah, Tommy does like to sit off and go for his own mark, so that could be a problem for him if Chol gets a couple of steps run up.
Do you think that Harley Reid will be a little bit not dusty, but he might blow a little bit? His tank probably hasn't developed to the level where he can slide straight back in and get back to where he was, because it's been a month now with the buy in there as well, so it has been a little extended period of time. Do you think he'll slot back straight to the way he was going?
Oh, yeah. Who knows?
we haven't.
What were we expecting when he came in, and look what he's done. So, but if he gets tagged, I'm telling him, you go straight to Will Day and go and sit on him at clearances, see if he can shake it that way. Try and curl his influences around the clearances, then go and run your own game.
He's one of the most impressive players in the league, I reckon, Dave.
Excited to see him today.
Really excited. Haven't seen too much in person. Really excited to see him.
Always players that when the teams come over here in the West, we get to see them in person, you're excited to watch them and up close. And Will Days, I think one of those for Hawthorn, who's so impressive for them so far early in his career, already a best and fairest winner for the club at such a young age. I can't wait to see him in person.
You've got Jack Gunston down there too, who is a lead-up player. So he's the one that takes that real hard lead, and he can lead for 50 or 60 metres, and that could then isolate Gov and or Tommy Brass one-on-one.
Yeah, definitely he's their hit-up player. And Bruce would have been. He's obviously been taken out of the side this week, but he's the other one who does like to come at the ball and has really good leading patterns. But not that they're like stay at home, but the other Hawthorn forwards are definitely more out the back or kick it to me, kind of put it up in my space and let me launch at it.
So that will be interesting to see who off he goes to, really. Does he go the small option, as in a Watson or a Moore, or does he go to Deere or a Gunston?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
He's got the speed to go with him, but he's got the strength and power to go with Gunston, I'm not sure.
So nice even midfield matchups, but I think the West Coast backline will be too strong.
Toss of the coin has just occurred in the middle of the ground. James Sicily in the long sleeves up against Oscar Allen for the Eagles today. James Sicily winning the toss of the coin. The Hawks will kick to the Graham Farmer Freeway end of the ground, the left of our broadcast position. The Eagles to the city end to our right.
Looks terrific for football. Blue skies, a couple of puffy clouds above us. There's a slight breeze favouring the city end of the ground. What's it like downstairs, though? G'day again, a Cash Vodator.
Thanks, Clint. Yeah, it is a little bit chilly down here, but as you mentioned, perfect overhead conditions for football. Looking across to the starting benches for both teams. For West Coast, Ruben Ginbey, Tom Cole. Interestingly, Tim Kelly starting on the bench for West Coast. Bailey Williams and Ryan Marrick is the sub. While for Hawthorn, Josh Weddle, Massimo D'Ambrosio, James Warple and Connor McDonald will start on the bench. And Harry Morrison is the sub.
Little g'day between Harley Reid and Nick Watson. Know each other in their days As under-18 players, Reid does go, as Jared Schofield told us, right into the middle. Elliot Yeo is there as well, and Liam Ryan will start in the centre too. It's West Coast and Hawthorn. The Hawks looking for 5 straight. The Eagles want to win to get us started. Sunday Arvo footy on ABC Sport. Here's Mitch Turner.
It's Lloyd Meek v Matt Flynn in the ruck. Ball goes into the turf. Down it comes. Fell to Newcomb. Straight to Will Day out of the middle. Got the handball across to Nash for the Hawks. Had to steady up on his left foot. Now the high up and under kick inside the forward 50. McGovern comes out, takes the mark on the juggling attempt. First intercept of the day for Jeremy McGovern. His kick goes into the middle of the ground. It's knocked away from Waterman. Day did well. Spun out of traffic. Got the short kick to Moore. Little chip inside the 50. Just carries the 15. And Jack Ginnivan found so much space. There's still no one on the mark as Brady Hoff eventually comes across. He'll go back for a set shot. 40 metres out, 45-degree angle.
Just tried to bite a little bit too much off with that kick up the middle. Garvin, a nice strong bit of contested bullying through the middle there by Day.
This is not a great matchup, I don't think, with it and on Ginnivan. I just think he might be a little bit too crafty for Alex.
Long sleeves and the headband on. This will be some start for the Hawks. Ginnivan's kick is a shocker off the inside of the boot. Doesn't make the distance. McGovern takes intercept mark and clears for West Coast.
And will kick towards right half back. Mark there taken by Flynn. Plays on by Hand. Running by Hunt. He got tackled, turned it over. Hand pass straight to Nash. Kicks inside forward 50. Good mark to Chol. And he'll go back and have a shot. He'll start in line with the left hand behind post. Thought about laying it off. Instead, he'll kick towards right full forward, and he's missed everything. Not sure what he was trying to do then. Must have been told to play on very quickly after he thought he'd taken the mark. In the end, he couldn't find a teammate, couldn't find the goals themselves. No score. Frenetic opening 2 minutes.
Barris short to Duggan. Duggan still inside his defensive 50, goes short to Liam Ryan. Yeah, when he went the fake kick to Ginnivan, the umpire called him to play on. Although, I'm not sure he really stepped off his mark.
Went off his line.
So McGovern has the ball in defence for West Coast. Gave it to the run of Ryan. His kick up the wing is straight to Jaff. Takes the mark, plays on immediately. Kicks long to the top of the square. Going back, Barris. Knocks it down to a teammate in McGovern. Witherden there in support. Little loopy handball to Hoff. Back to Witherden under pressure. Snap around the body. Can't quite clear defensive 50. Moore did well. Chopped it off. Gave it to Ginnivan. The snap goes straight up in the air. Top of the goal square. Flying from the side was Jaff. Coming the other way, though. To meet it even better was Tom Barris. Was able to take the intercept mark on his chest and go wide to Duggan in the left back pocket.
Can you see that again? I'm not sure Chol stepped off his line at all. Nonetheless, the Eagles have it through Duggan. He'll kick towards left half back. Day went up, almost marked, lost it at the last moment. Came down then to Chesser for the Eagles. They're streaming away to the southern wing to Waterman. Kick was a bit short for Cripps. Getting back to intercept to Sicily. Slipping over was Newcomb. Almost saw the ball go away from him. Was able to recover enough to take the mark in front of Jones from his defensive 50. He'll move it out towards right half back. The Hawks can sit up again in the right sunshine of the southern wing. It's with Hardwick. He'll send it back again towards right half back to Frost. Right back inside his defensive 50. Hawks take a couple of bounces. Scrimshaw towards left half back to Moore. And he'll mark in the shadows. Still no score, opening 3.5 minutes.
Impey provided the run for Moore. Got the handball, kick up the wing, was looking for Deer. It was punched away by the Eagles defender. Ends up with Newcomb. A wobbling ball inside the forward 50. Chol, unable to take it on the first attempt. Able to gather eventually, like something across the face of goal. It's Jaff loading forward from defence. Deep in the left forward pocket was Joel. He spotted Jaff, corner of his eye, floating all the way down the outer wing. And he's taken the mark about 25 metres out, tight angle to the right.
Well, we've only been going 4 minutes, but you look at the disposals and McGovern 4, Barras 3 tells the story of which end the ball's been at.
Yeah, all marks though, 5 marks between them. But you can see both sides trying to get a bit of pace on the ball with handball receives off the mark.
Started exactly how we thought it was, but Hawthorn have to score.
Just the 5 goals for his career, Changuth Jaff. Just the 1 goal this season, make it 2. The defender gets the opener, and the Hawks are on the board. 1 straight 6. They lead the Eagles, yet to score. 4.5 minutes played here, first term. Sunday afternoon footy on ABC Sport from Perth Stadium.
That was just a matter of when, really, for that one. 5 inside 50s to start the quarter. You can only rely on Gov and Tommy Barras to turn it over so many times, and a great bit of selfless play by Chol to square that one up to Chath.
Well, that's how Hawthorn play. They want to play quick. I'm just thinking now, West Coast, you've seen what they're going to do. Maybe just hold up and slow them down and try and work your way back in the game.
A reminder earlier today, Port by 2 points over the Saints. Still half-time at the MCG. 7-8-50 Carlton lead Richmond 6-2-38. The Hawks with the first. Bounce to restart. Meek palms it down. Warple had it, shoveled it back to Day. It's a hand pass away to Newcomb. Kicks inside the forward 50. Can't find a target. The ball's allowed to bounce. Barras gathers it. He got tackled immediately and he's going to be pinged. Giving this shove out of the way. Had a bit to say too, and Rodham then gives a shove as well to McDonald. Won't change the result. It's a shot on goal here to Gunston, who tackled Barras, and the ball jarred away from him. He knew he was done straight away. Crept up on him, Gunston. It's Rotham who's going to stand the mark, though. Gunston will start from beyond the boundary line. His boots will cross the 50. It's going to miss everything. Swinging it to the left. No score. West Coast will have the free kick. That score remains on the board. 1 straight 6 the Hawks. The Eagles yet to score. 6 gone in the opening term.
Cole, short from the restart. Gets it to Hoff in the back pocket. Jack Gunston, just the one disposal in their last game. The Hawks already equalled that today. So the kick goes from Hoff, high up the wing. Darling's the target in front. Day chopped in front of him for the Hawks. Was able to knock it into the path of D'Ambrosio. Reed in traffic. Took on the first tackler. Was caught by the second. Umpire said play on. Ball bobbling around between wing and half forward for Hawthorn. Players dive in. The umpire circles. Kelly was underneath it. Newcomb on top of him.
Arm pinned. Didn't have any way of getting rid of the ball.
Umpire paid holding the ball. So John Newcomb, the number 3, has the ball, sends it inside the forward 50. Chong from behind, can't take the mark. Off hands, falls to ground level. Meeks in there trying to do the roving now. Ginnivan, his handball cut off by Cole, who's seen over the boundary line. Again, a little bit of push and shove. It'll be a ball in 45 metres around, left half forward for the Hawks. They lead by 6 points. 1 straight 6. The Eagles still yet to score.
Waterman playing as the deepest forward at the moment for West Coast. Frost stands alongside him. As the ball's put back into play in the Hawks forward 50. Meek palmed it down, straight to Hawthorn. The Eagles tackled immediately, brought to ground, ball up. Watson underneath all of that, doing the tackling. Flynn wins it down to Reed. Hand pass back to Ginby, comes out the side again. Moore couldn't take it first time. He and Ginby battled for it. Moore looked to knock it out. McGovern had it stolen away. Incredibly well done. That was remarkable coming from Watson. The Hawks still trying to work their way forward. Watson's tackled to ground. Umpire says we'll ball it up. There's a little bit of afters in here. And Reed and Watson, who were very friendly at the start of proceedings, had a bit to say, and Reed has to be dragged off Watson on the ground. He's got himself the free kick through all of this.
Literally took the ball out of his hand as he was guiding it down to his foot, Watson. And
McGovern.
Yeah.
He picked his pocket.
We're coming up 7 minutes and the ball's only been over halfway once.
Yeah.
And Hawthorn are only 1 goal. And they've had, this is their 5th shot, I think, for only one score. This has to go through. They've got to make the most of these opportunities or West Coast will get their groove going.
The 19-year-old Nick Watson, boots cross the 50, 45-degree angle to the left. It's out to the right. That is a poor kick. And it's going to be marked at left full back by the Eagles. Now, what's happened here? I thought McGovern had marked it. They've given it to Gunston.
Blocking free kick.
It's against West Coast, and Gunston will snap around the body, and he's missed. Well, Hawthorn have had a couple of chances, to say the least, and they have not been able to convert. 1-1-7 the Hawks. The Eagles yet to score. 9 gone in the first, but Hawthorn, they should be much further in front.
Very stagnant, the West Coast players through the middle of the ground at the moment.
McGovern's kick this time finds a target beyond half-back in Hunt. Good kick inside to Rotham. Was able to give it to Kelly for his first disposal. Good switch kick wide to the wing. Chesser has a little bit of space. Able to find Waterman. Still a kick and a half from home on the outer side. Sun in the eyes a little bit, just waiting for a target as numbers from both sides flood back. Eventually Waterman decides to pull the trigger, kicks it up into the forward line. Big pack form. Splitton couldn't take the mark. Coming through in there is Jones. He's tackled immediately by Hardwick. It'll be a ball up. 40 metres out. Side angle for the Eagles. Attacking half. Warple off the restart. Was on hands and knees. Couldn't get it. Amon was able to extract it from the pack. Kicks it close to the boundary line. The crowd murmuring for a moment, and they've paid insufficient intent. Jack Ginnivan and Tom Cole were wrestling over the top of the ball as it rolled out. The umpires paid insufficient intent. Cole loads up, goes inside the forward 50, pack flies, no one can mark, falls to Chesser outside of the boot. It's a minus score. The Eagles' first score of the day. 0-1 is their score. Hawthorn 1-1-7, 10.5 played. I still can't get over the fact they paid that insufficient intent.
Well, Eamon goes on a bit of a run. Kicks beyond defensive 50. Big pack up. Spills down to Kelly. Gets a kick back inside forward 50. Hits Sicily, though, on the chest for the Hawks. Thoughts on the insufficient intent?
Well, the intent wasn't to kick it to those two players. They just made their way there because it dribbled. If they hadn't have been there, it was clearly insufficient intent.
Sicily beyond defensive 50. Second time to Meek. He'll move it to Moore. Moore on the logo. Stabs a low, flat pass. That was beautifully worked to McDonald, who pauses to allow Hawks to surge forward and goes short with an inboard pass to Newcomb, just forward of the centre circles. Newcomb for the Hawks sees a player run by, receiving it. Weddle, and then thumps it long towards full forward. One-on-one battle. Scholl was up against Barris, and this time the umpire's given the free kick to the defender. It was Barris before giving away the free kick when McGovern thought he'd taken the mark. Gunston having the shot that missed. So Barris has it at right full back. The Eagles trail by 6 points, 12 gone in the first.
Long high ball from Barris out of defence. Sicily had hands to it, couldn't take the mark. Newcomb, Jimby both wrestling over the ball. Two absolute bulls in there for both sides. Neither could be separated. It'd be tossed up. 55 out from the Hawthorn goal. They still lead by 6. Ball goes into the path off the restart to Hunt. Left foot snap up the wing. Allen did well to close down Weddle late. Knocked the ball away from him. Ball back in congestion on the wing. Once again, the umpire will have to take it and reset plays. Jermaine Jones was caught immediately. Ball goes up. Meek taps it down. Williams trying to barrel through, was tackled, dispossessed. Players dive in now. Warple, he's tackled immediately. Connor Nash just a little knock to the nose off play as well. He restarted back on the wing.
Ball's thrown aloft. Meek takes clean possession, gets it to Nash, then to Newcomb. Hand pass over the shoulder, works its way to Impey. He kicks up into the air, inside forward 50. Barris Smith shot, got a fist down. It came to Warple, gathered there by McKenzie, and he turns it over. Jermaine Jones floating back, takes the mark at centre half back for the Eagles and immediately sends them out to Waterman. Marking on the logo in the sunshine of the southern wing. Kicks to a one-on-one inside forward 50. Frost in front of Darling. Frost won it down. Protected the drop of the football as well. Hawks have got numbers, but Darling follows up. Sicily tackles him to ground. Umpire says we'll board up. Frost giving some support late. In the left forward pocket for the West Coast Eagles. Still looking for their first goal of the day. 14 gone in the opening quarter. Free kick spotted. It's going the way of the Hawks. No.
Tim Kelly.
It is to Tim Kelly.
He did point the other way first.
I was completely confused because he pointed the other way and I was trying to spot what on earth it was for, but Tim Kelly has been given the free kick and he'll be able to have a shot in the left
unnecessary. Completely unnecessary.
Oh, Newcomb's just grabbed him as he's tried to run through. Just grabbed him by the jumper.
Poor, isn't it? That's a free.
Odd.
That's a free kick. It's right in front of goals.
Here comes Tim Kelly, back in the side, boots cross the 50, tight angle from the left forward pockets. He misses. A minor score. The Eagles 2 behinds. The Hawks 1-1-7. 14 gone in the first.
We're not seeing an overly attractive game of football just as yet. I feel like neither team's settled.
The Hawks brought the ball back in very quickly. D'Ambrosio was the recipient. Kick up the wing. Flying in front was Deer. Ball was punched from behind. Over the top of it now is Alex Witherden. Ball was ripped out by a teammate. Otherwise, he would have been pinned. The Eagles manage a quick kick to the former Hawk himself, Tyler Brockman. Dangerous kick now towards Yo. Nash had his back to the ball. Front on contact. It'll be a free kick to Elliot Yo. Was able to wheel and go, kick it inside the forward 50, and the ball goes too far right, too wide, out of bounds on the full. He was looking for Allen, so it'll be a free kick to the Hawks and Carl Amon. Tyler Brockman, 26 games, 23 goals for the Hawks. Kicked 2 the last time these two sides met, but he was wearing the other colours. Hasn't kicked a goal for the Eagles yet. Clint, maybe he'll do it today as Frost brings the ball out of defence.
Comes towards the commentary wing. Fine mark from Chol. Up against Ginby. Plays on quickly. Barris attacks the football. Great mark. The Eagles fans show their appreciation. So to leap up in front of Deer, who'd stayed down and was expecting to take the mark. Barris for West Coast. Kicks towards right half back. They come from everywhere. Spills down off hands. Ginnivan has it. Kicked around the body. Nicely worked. Found its way to Nash. Sweeping hand pass to the logo. Gathering at Newcomb. Fires it inside forward 50. Watson went to ground up against Hoff. Still trying to race through. Clattering in McDonald. Ball jars free. Another chance for Gunston. Gave it back to Jap. Step past one. Hands it back to Newcomb. Chance for the Hawks. Throws it on the boot. It's up into the air. Won't have the carry. Kept in play, though, by Deer. Goes out after it once more. Tackled. Lost it. Gunston gathers it. Kicks to Ginnivan, who marks. In front of goal. He'll go back. He'll wheel around and snap. And kick a major. Jack Ginnivan gives Hawthorn their second. Eagles fans are a bit unhappy about the way that the ball made its way to him. But the Hawks won't care. They're 2-1-13. The Eagles 2 behind, 17 gone in the first.
Well, you look at the inside 50s, it's 11-5 for 2 goals. They should be more than that, Hawthorn, as we've seen. But it's Newcomb through the middle. He's just getting so much space and just he's the connector that's getting it inside 50.
4 inside 50s, 250 metres gained already. Yeah, the link-up play that he's providing.
Well, we spoke about who's going to go to Harley. Maybe Harley needs to go to him.
Yep.
So my question, though, is Cal Shadir has gathered the football, tackled and lost it. Did he make any effort to get rid of it? Right up there on the boundary line in the right forward pocket. It's then been called play on, which has allowed the ball to come back.
Are you asking us for an interpretation on what the umpires are seeing?
Whether or not you think it was the right call. I'm never sure what the umpires are seeing, I'll be honest.
Back underway in the middle. Kelly this time tackled. Either dropped it or was held without. An umpire said play on either way. Hawks streaming through the middle. Amon runs into trouble. Jimmy held him without the ball. Once again, the umpire says play on. The crowd not happy. Ball bobbling around in the middle of the ground. Jimmy dived in there for the Eagles. Eventually, Jaff got it out to Hardwick. Now to McDonald. Kicks inside the forward 50. A grubbering ball straight to Alex with it. And he, in turn, sends a tumbler out to the wing. Flynn had a bit to do for West Coast. Couldn't do quite enough. Jaff able to get onto it. Gives it to the run of Impey. Now McDonald shares it back with Jaff, continuing to run down the outer side of Perth Stadium. Now with McKenzie. Kicks inside the forward 50. Shallow for Gunston. Rotham stood in front. Eventually comes back out to the Hawks. Impey ran into trouble. Got the handball off. Ball bobbling around inside the Hawks attacking 50 as Watson goes in. The tackled immediately. The umpire says he'll ball it up. 40 metres out from the Hawthorn goal. They still lead by 11 points. 18.5 gone in the first term.
Tell you what, though, Sharp, we will be asking Dean Margetts about it on Extra Time on ABC Sport Digital on Mondays. The ball's thrown up and Yo tries to bustle his way through. Ball hits the deck. Warple got a hand pass out. It comes to Moore. He snaps a goal. The Hawks have got the opening 3 of the game. Dylan Moore, he's deadly around goal. 23-6 for the season for him as the Hawks move to be 3-1-19. The Eagles 2 behinds. 19 gone in the first. Quick update at the MCG. The Blues lead by 11 over Richmond. It's 11 minutes gone into the third. 8-9 to 7-4. Carlton by 11 over the Tigers.
Hawthorn just doing a much better job at the moment of holding that outside balance around the contest, and when they do win the ball inside.
A lot of Eagles players are just ball watching there, and Moore was straight onto it.
Too dynamic. Like I said, it doesn't feel like they've settled either side, but the link and run and carry from Hawthorn's being far more effective.
Well, they're winning ground balls, so they're getting it out. As you say, they're well balanced on the outside as well.
All concern West Coast is first quarters are their best quarters this season. It's not saying a lot given they've only won 6 so far in 2024. This time the Hawks go out of the middle again. Warple, long high kick, looking for that goal kicker in Moore. Cole punched it away from him. Coming through Day, gave it to a teammate in D'Ambrosio. He feeds the handle out to Ginnivan, and the umpire said took too long though. The tackle applied by Hoff, he'll be rewarded. Gets the ball back, immediately steps off his line. Called to play on, up towards Ryan, mismatch. Sicily had the size, the advantage, was able to punch the ball out of bounds as Liam Ryan started in the middle, looks to be back in that traditional half-forward position. Ball will be spun back in, right in front of the Hawthorn bench. Flynn and Meek to go at it. Meek gets to the front, taps it down straight into the path of Kelly. Did well to get it to Cripps. The Eagles go forward, kick up towards Allen. It's a 2-on-1 against him. Sicily did well to knock it back towards a teammate in Weddle. He's tackled immediately, held it for a while. The umpire happy to ball it up though. Ball up just inside the attacking 50 for the Eagles. 21 minutes played. Still yet to kick a major, the home side.
Hurled up into the air. Flynn palms it down. Ryan couldn't take it cleanly. Reid could. Got a hand pass to Ryan at right half forward. Hand passed it back to Hunt. Kicks the Eagles towards full forward. They fly from everywhere. Spills out the back. Weddle had it. Pressure came from Brockman. Weddle's kick knocked to ground. Frost dives on top of Brockman. Ball comes out the back. Still players piling in. Frost did well. Got a hand pass out. Ginnivan. He's tackled to ground by Reid. Umpire says it's locked in. Just outside the top. The attacking goal square for West Coast. Still searching for their first goal of the afternoon, the Eagles. Hawks defending desperately. Meek had the more telling tap down. Cripps went out after it, picks it up, surrounded by Hawks. Almost had it stolen from his grasp. Effort then by Hardwick. Might have been knocked in the eye as he looked to wrench it away. Ball up again. Still inside West Coast forward 50. Meek against Williams. Williams two-handed, won it down to Flynn. Hand pass wasn't great. Day was able to get in the way. Knocked it out, though, only as far as Kelly. Centering kick. Jaff intercepts. Takes the mark at fullback for the Hawks, who lead by 17. 22 gone in the first.
Just takes off out of defence. Jaff kicks up to the wing. Mark couldn't be taken by McDonald. Did well, though, to gather at ground level and feed the outside runner in Moore. Had to stop, take a little bounce, compose himself. Was able to find Nash inside the centre square. His handball loops over the top to McKenzie. Kick inside the forward 50. Too long to Dia. And again, McGovern with another intercept mark. Takes it, moves it quickly up the wing, and it favoured Lloyd Meek, but that was because he pushed Matt Flynn out of the way and did so illegally. So Matt Flynn will take the free kick on the wing. Kel Shadir, that family name haunting a few Eagles. Sorry to bring that up. Chris Waterman here in the box with us, the 1991 Norm Smith medalist, as the ball goes up the wing. Williams takes the mark. Plays on quickly by handballing to Jones. Kick towards half forward. It's a hot one, but Brockman does well. Takes the mark. Handballs it off to Harley. This will bring the crowd to their feet if he kicks it, and he doesn't. It's a minor score away to the left. Harley Reid's first real attacking foray is a minor score. 0-3-3 the Eagles. 3-1-19 the Hawks. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Nash is standing alongside Reid. Hardwick brings it back into play. Chol up, had hands on it, couldn't mark it, spills down. Sicily couldn't gather either. Chol eventually picks it up, surrounded by Eagles. Forced a hand pass back to Sicily, who's tackled and then pushed over the boundary line by Cripps at left half back for the Hawks.
Just seem to be stronger in the contest at the moment for Hawthorn, and seem to be getting it out to a runner.
$16 points the lead to Hawthorn. Late in the first. Meek with the fingertip touch down to Day. Tackled to ground by Reid. Strong tackle too. Ball up again. Still at left half back for Hawthorn. Hawks looking for a 5th straight win. First time since 2018 for them. Meek won the tap. Came down to Newcombe. He was tackled by Flynn. We're locked where we were just moments before, still at left half back for Hawthorn.
Late stages of this opening term, Meek and Flynn go up. It comes the way of Nash. Was able to get it towards Day. Chip little kick on his left foot was a good one. Found Deer, kept running Day. Got it back from the young Hawk. Handballed into the path of Scholl. It was too hot for him. Duggan was able to put some pressure on. Scholl, though, did well to knock it towards Newcombe. Then to Warple. Handballs back in front of Scholl. Oh, a sneaky, cheeky little toe poke to Ginnivan. He flicked it off the ground, Euro style, and Ginnivan just couldn't finish off the good work.
Just had to turn the other way, Ginnivan. He turned onto his non-preferred and closed the angle of the goals by doing so. If he had have turned the other way, keeps the angle open.
His snap was across the face, a minus score 3-2, 20 the Hawks, 0-3-3 the Eagles.
He likes to do things in unconventional ways.
It's true.
That young man.
He does. No experts today. Dual premiership player Chris Waterman, premiership player Sharad Wellingham, Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner, Akash Fodadar downstairs. You've missed nothing as the Eagles work it around their defensive 50 into the sunshine at left half back from Cole to Witherden, back to McGovern. We'll move it short now. Still inside defensive 50 to Duggan, the co-captain. Pops it back to Cole. Cole then goes beyond defensive 50 to left half back to Hunt, the former Demon, who spears it to Yo, up and marking. He's precise from West Coast. They're now on the southern wing. Thought about going inboard, now decides to kick long towards left half forward. Big pack up, Darling got hands to it, hand passed over the shoulder to Hunt. Got the hand pass away from the tackle and gave it to Waterman. Kick to Jimby, bounced off his shins though. Newcombe was there to mop up to D'Ambrosio for the Hawks. He'll kick it out towards the commentary wing. Ginnivan lets it run by, tries to tap it to his own advantage. The pressure came from Barris, who was good enough to make sure the ball went over the boundary line as opposed to into Ginnivan's hands or even forward for the Hawks. Throwing between the interchange gates. 27 gone in the first. The Hawks lead by 17.
Ball to be spun back in right between the interchange gates. Again, Flynn and Meek go at it. Comes off hands to Warple for the Hawks. Gave it to Day. Now Nash. Kick inside the forward 50. Looking for a target. And McGovern again. Another intercept mark at half back.
5 marks, of which I'd say probably 3 or 4 intercept marks.
Sets up the Eagles play again. Cole is able to go wide to Witherden. Now the kick beyond defensive 50 is a poor one. Went straight to Jaff. He plays on. Handballs to Ginnivan. Little chip over to his right. Inside the forward 50 finds Moore, who's on a tighter angle than Ginnivan would have been on had he had a shot. But as Clint Wilder mentioned before, he is a sharpshooter, Dylan Moore. He rarely misses. Sorry, Hawks fans.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say. Had to say that.
Apologies. So
I said it after the goal.
Well, the sample size has been good today. He's kicked 23-6 for the season. Dylan Moore from the tightest of angles, 45 metres out. Kick on the way. Doesn't make the distance. So doesn't register a minus score and keeps his accuracy the same as it was coming in. And the Hawks maintain that 17-point lead. 3-2-20 the Hawks, 0-3-3 the Eagles.
So the Hawks goal kickers, Chenkov Jaff, Dylan Moore and Jack Ginnivan, as they lead 3-2-20 to West Coast's 3 behinds at quarter time. An update for you at the MCG. The Blues there by 23 points now, 19 gone in the third, 11-9-75 to the Tigers, 7-4-46. And the score from earlier today, Port Adelaide by 2 points up against the Saints at the Docklands. Port 8-14-62 to St Kilda's 8-12-60. Repeating, the Hawks by 17 points, the final game of round 16. Hawthorn leading West Coast here at Perth Stadium. Wherever you're listening on ABC Radio, Sport Digital, streaming on the ABC Listen app, always look for the AFL or the AFL Extra button. This is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport.
It's the most magical time of the year, right? Footy season. This season you can get your footy live and ad-free on the ABC Listen app. Unbelievable. AFL, NRL, men's, women's. Whatever you fix, we've got you covered. Every goal, try, mark and tackle, called by ABC Sport's expert commentary team.
A wonderful goal! Game, set, bingo!
100% pure footy, live and ad-free on the ABC Listen app.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Ends up with Newcomb, wobbling ball inside the forward 50. Scholl, unable to take it on the first attempt, able to gather eventually, like something across the face of goal. It's Jaff floating forward from defence. Deep in the left forward pocket was Joel. He spotted Jaff, corner of his eye, floating all the way down the outer wing. He's taken the mark about 25 metres out, tight angle to the right. Just the 5 goals for his career, Changuth Jaff. Just the 1 goal this season, make it 2. The defender gets the opener.
Hands it back to Newcomb. Chance for the Hawks. Throws it on the boot. It's up into the air. Won't have the carry. Kept in play though by Deere. Goes out after it once more. Tackled. Lost it. Gunston gathers it. Kicks to Ginnivan who marks. In front of goal. He'll wheel around and snap and kick a major. Jack Ginnivan gives Hawthorn their second. Ball hits the deck. Warple got a hand pass out. It comes to Moore. He snaps a goal. The Hawks have got the opening 3 of the game.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
As always, if you'd like to get in touch here on ABC Sport, 0437 774 774. If you'd like to send us a text wherever you happen to be right around the country, just let us know your name and where you're texting from. We're here at Perth Stadium. Cool afternoon, about 16, 17 degrees. Still a few clouds above us, but no chance of rain. Terrific afternoon for footy. Though it hasn't been the most spectacular start. The Hawks here lead 3-2, 20 to West Coast, 3 behinds. Let's get the thoughts of our experts, Sharad Wellingham and Chris Waterman on ABC Sport.
Well, from my end, West Coast are lucky. Hawthorn have only kicked 3 goals.
Oh, yeah, massively.
They are 17-8 inside 50s, 10-5 clearances. Top 4 possession getters, Newcomb 11, Moore 8, Nash 8, Day 8 are all midfielders. West Coast, McGovern 8, Witherden 6, Duggan 6, Hunt 6, Barras 5 are all defenders.
And Jath and Warple the next couple in Hawthorn.
And they're runners.
And they're just absolutely smoking them with their run at the moment.
Warple's on ball and Jath's coming off half back who's had a shot on goal. They are just running. They're winning it inside. We picked that up. They're winning contested ball, but they're balanced around the outside.
The outside
really
is what's
good.
getting them, isn't it? Because they're getting the job done inside and they're having that outside balance, which is just enabling to get some run and carry on the ball. And West Coast aren't able to stop them through slowing them down up the ground. The only way they're stopping them is by Gov and Tommy Barras taking these intercept marks. Otherwise, like you said, they would have potentially had a few more shots on goal or converted those ones that they have had.
Yeah.
They're very lucky to be only the 3 goals behind at the moment.
Gov's had 6 and Barras had 3, so there's 9 marks. 9 out of their 17 inside 50s. They've stopped half of them.
What can they do? They've got to win it at the contest. They've got to start winning some clearances and they've got to start winning loose ball gets and ground ball gets and actually get some contested footy because they just don't look like they're up for the fight. And
I'm not sure whether Jimmy's running with someone, but he hasn't touched the ball yet, but he's been on ball a lot. Oscar no possession, Jack 1. So there's 3 at the bottom there.
And they're trying to retain the ball for some reason. Like they're playing a bit of a kick mark style when they're coming out of the back line, which just...
I see what they tried. They tried to slow the game down because Hawthorn were just zipping it to try and take the sting out of the game, but they didn't. They
don't get anything from it, though.
They didn't maintain possession. Hawthorn set up well beyond the ball. It ends up being just a long
dump kick
and hope for the best down there. So they need to just move it a bit quicker and a bit cleaner. They were fumbling at ground level.
Just starts in there in the middle, doesn't it? They need to get their hands on the ball, get some territory from a clearance. Down 5.
10-5. They've got to pick that area up right now.
Speaking of hands on the ball, the individual disposal getters, Giant Newcomb with 11 for the Hawks, leads all comers on the ground. Moore, Nash, Day, Jath, all with 8 for the Eagles. Jeremy McGovern has 8. Witherden, Duggan, Hunt with 6. Kelly Yo Reid, 10 between them in the first quarter. So need a lift from their midfield. Clint Wheeldon here for the second term.
That inside 50 stat telling those 17-8 in favour of Hawthorn. Hawks lead by 17 points. We're underway in the second quarter. Williams wins the tap down, doing the ruck work for the Eagles, and it's Ryan who gathers. Kicks West Coast inside forward 50. Allen out, couldn't mark against Sicily. Spills down to Jones, gathers, shoots, kicks the goal. Eagles have got there first.
There you go. Straight out of the centre, straight in the forward 50, crumb goal.
Nice bit of dynamic movement from Liam Ryan in there. Just adds a little bit of spice, changes things up a bit, doesn't it?
No need to go short and no need to control it when you go bursting through like that. Hawthorn 3-2-20, the Eagles 1-3-9, the Hawks by 11 points. Sunday Arvo footy on ABC Sport.
Really good crumbing pattern then from Jermaine Jones, wasn't it? Just cutting off and breaking away at the right time as the ball hits the fist of the Hawthorn defender, but that cut pattern, really hard for a defender to stay on you, isn't it?
But you are right. And Liam doesn't go in there a lot, has been over the years, so he's a point of difference all of a sudden. They're not sure which way he's going to go.
Liam Ryan in the middle again here. Tim Kelly, the one standing at half forward. As the ball goes up again, Williams tapped it into space. Warple was the first one to get there for the Hawks. Gave it to Newcomb. Kick inside the forward 50. Barris going back with courage. Was able to take the mark on his chest. And eyes only for the ball. We know some of the injuries Tom Barris has had from those big marking contests. Still, nothing but courage from the vice-captain as the kick goes out of defence from the Eagles. Cripps gives it to the run of McGovern. Now to Duggan on his opposite boot on the right. Kicked it towards half-forward. It was a tumbling ball. Went straight through James Sicily. Newcomb gets back there for the Hawks. His kick across the face of goal is dangerous and too far. Out of bounds on the full. He went with a switch kick backwards in the left back pocket. It's gone out on the full, and Jaden Hunt will be the recipient of the free kick. Tight angle. Right forward pocket will run around on his left boot. He bends it around the corner and he bends it too far. It's a minus score. So the Hawks with a let-off early there in the second term. 1-4-10 the Eagles, 3-2-20 the Hawks have played just 2 minutes in this second term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Sicily is on a bit of a trundle and kicks very short. It's okay, according to the officials. Just enough to be a mark to aim on. Carl goes beyond defensive 50 and punched by Hoff over the boundary line at left half back.
Hoff or Roth?
Hey?
Sharad, this is funny.
I've lost you, Sharad, which is not the first time I've done that. Throwing back in. I was thinking of Joe Roth, the former Wallaby, when you said it for a moment. As Williams trying to take it away. Got tackled, lost it. It's been held up. Had the best middle name, Joe Cosmos Roth.
That's no way.
Yeah, genuine middle name.
Cosmos.
Great fella too. Meek won it down, sliding through, trying to gather it was Liam Ryan. Picked up by Harley Reid, goes it back to Hunt. Will kick inside forward 50, and that's another mark, and a good one too to Sicily.
Just timed that bit of pressure onto Waterman perfectly then, Sicily.
Hawks by 10, 3.5 gone in the second.
The Hawks skipper kicks out to the lead of the unlikely target. The low ball in Lloyd Meek. Took the mark, was able to get it to D'Ambrosio. Clever little kick inside, found McDonald. The bright green boots. The hair hanging out the back as he goes short. This time to Amon. Loves to kick it long inside the forward 50. This time he does so and it goes over the pack, over the top of all comers. And Duggan was able to just sit there and take the uncontested chest mark. Swing it wide to Roth, as we say. Josh Rotham, who goes wide up to Jermaine Jones. Not Cosmos, just Josh on this occasion. As Duggan has the ball back. His kick short was a dangerous one. It was punched away from Kelly by Dia. The Eagles won it back, though. Kick into the middle of the grounds at Tumblr, straight into the arms of James Sicily. Plays on quickly. Short kick to Impey, not 15. Has to turn and go. Was able to compose himself. Find Warple. His short kick forward to the edge of the centre square. It's in the hands again of McDonald. Connor McDonald goes with a really high ball inside the forward 50. Who wants to mark that? Joel! Wow! Takes a huge ride over the top. Came from deep in the pack, Mabio Chol. And took an absolute hanger of a mark. And will go back from directly in front, 35 metres out, for a chance at his first.
Almost identical to what we explained before the game. That if Tom lets him get a run up, he can do that all day.
Launches so well at the ball.
But it's there because I don't feel like West Coast played it right coming out of the back half. It's just two stop start.
Former Sun, former Tiger, now with the Hawks. His kick on goal is pulled away to the right. Another let-off on this occasion. 3-3-21 the Hawks, 1-4-10 the Eagles, an 11-point margin, 5.5 minutes played. Mitch Turner here alongside Clint Wilden for ABC Sport.
Duggan into the left-back pocket. Chance to build up again. Whitted and marking, hard up against the boundary. Will trot inside and then kick towards left half-back for the Eagles. Big pack up. Oh, well marked, Allen. Middle of about 6, maybe 7 players, was able to drag it down. He sent it backwards, though. Interesting. Taken then by Hoff and then gets it back again. Out towards Duggan, who juggled it, was able to drag it in just before the boundary line got him. He'll go on a trundle down the wing, kicking towards left half forward. Williams rises, couldn't quite complete the mark. He slapped it back. Chinby tried to shovel a hand pass out, emerging with it again. Newcomb got it to Meek for the Hawks. Comes back quickly to McKenzie, ran into trouble. Got tackled, just got a hand pass out. Good effort from Darling. Didn't let him get away and tackled him in the ball eventually over the boundary line, right beneath our broadcast position. Left half forward for the West Coast Eagles. 3-3-21 the Hawks, 1-4-10 the Eagles, 7 gone in the second.
It's been a feeling between the two sides early on. Both want to impose their physicality as Newcomb takes it away from the stoppage. Drilled kick up the wing to Nick Watson. Kicked 1 goal 4 in their last game, the Hawks, against the Tigers a few weeks ago. Kick up the wing, Chol flies again, so too Barris, couldn't take the mark. Gunston on hands and knees, just outside the attacking 50 for the Hawks. Players diving in, Day was in there, couldn't extract it. Reed could, tumbles a kick, straight though to Weddle, did well to tap it to his advantage. Was able to stand up in the tackle, feed the handball wide to Meek. Now Ginnivan, short, clever little kick up the line to Day. Just beyond right half forward, 55 from home, spots the lead in the pocket, a beautiful lead from Dylan Moore, got in behind the defenders, takes the mark. Oh, kick from about 45 metres out, right half forward, very tight angle to the right. And I won't say anything about his goal kicking.
Bailey Williams just needed to have a bigger impact in the middle of the ground there. Needs to impose himself more on the game with his physicality.
Moore played on, fed the handball to Sicily, who had to kick from the paint, and his kick is offline to the right. So another minus score for the Hawks. 3-4-22 their score. West Coast 1-4-10 here in the second term.
Three-quarter time at the MCG. As Duggan brings the ball back into play for the Eagles. Kicks towards left half back. It's off a pack of hands. Spilled down to Sicily, then to Amon. But on in turn to Nash. Now to Day. Hand pass to Newcomb. Tackled by Jones. Got the hand pass forward though. It was well done. Nash shoveled it towards full forward. Rotham going back. Rotham's hand pass was to no one in particular. Watson got tackled. Well done, Duggan. Ball jarred free. Moore tries to pick it up. He was harassed by McGovern, who steals the footy away. Hand pass was meant for Reed. Day coming the other way, gathered. Stays in just the right forward pocket. Comes again to Nash, then to Meek. Back to Moore. Feeds it right back to right half back, where Frost marks.
Day was in the first row then.
I thought he was too. But we do know sometimes the parallax gets you. The umpires were right there as Roth goes to Sicily, further back in front of the logo on the commentary wing. He'll kick into the right forward pocket, stretching Meek, can't drag it in. Pressure came from Flynn, it's out for a boundary throwing. Three-quarter time at the MCG, 14-9-93 the Blues, the Tigers 7-6-48.
Dare I say it, West Coast are fighting for their life here to stay in this game, it looks like.
Hawks in complete control. Haven't quite put it on the scoreboard yet. Nash takes it away from the ruck contest, gives it to Watson. Was able to shake the tackle. Gunston snaps it back towards the top of the square. Couldn't find a teammate. Rotham was first there for the Eagles. Did well to take possession and find Hunt. Now the Eagles are away on the wing. Jones has it. Has players forward to the ball. Opts to go short to Cripps, who led back at him. Continued his run though, Jones. Got it back off the hands. He's kicking to the middle of the ground as a shocker. It's straight to Sicily. Gathers on the bounce. Runs into trouble. The crowd wants ball. There was no prior, and Harley Reid gave him a little bit of tax on the tackle as he put him to ground, but it's safe. Eagles fans, don't worry.
No one coming at the ball carrier for West Coast at the moment.
Ball tossed back up. Day, first one onto it, immediately tackled by Jinby. There'll be another ball up middle of the ground.
I think Jamie Cripps, the only one who led at anybody with the ball then.
Ball will be put back up into the air. It's Flynn v Meek. Meek tried to reach over the top, tapped it down towards Nash. Left foot snap around the body was good and found the chest of Ginnivan.
Ginnivan wheels around, goes into the centre square and then kicks up the corridor. Wanted Watson, he stretched, didn't quite have the height. I wasn't being facetious, he genuinely didn't. Behind him, Barris was able to take the mark. Kicks back towards Jinby. Just on the outer edge of the centre square. Kelly runs by, receives the hand pass. He'll kick towards right half forward. That's got too much on it for Cripps. For exactly the same reason, Weddle behind takes the mark. He's got his jumper ripped down the right side, Weddle. Continues to play on as he sent it back to Warple. Now to Weddle again. Bit of extra cooling for him. Comes to Amon, defensive edge of the centre square. Puts it back towards Frost. It bounces inside the defensive 50 and he'll stab it short to Scrimshaw and then he'll go short again to Amon. Amon sees Hawks in space on the centre wing. Kick goes to Sicily. He'll move it short to Gunston. Running by was Jath. That's ignored. Gunston looks for an option. It's pretty congested in front of him. He puts his arm out to suggest, where do you want me to go with this? He'll move it short to McDonald. McDonald again. They've worked this pretty well, Hawthorn. Short kicks, but they've been precise. It comes now again to Jath. He's 2 kicks from goal. 70 out. Hawks heading to the city end of Perth Stadium. The kick's long towards full forward. Oh, charging out Meek. That was a strong grab. He was able to work Barris out from in front as well. And the former Docker can go back and have a shot, Lloyd Meek. He'll be shooting from about 25 metres out. Better than a 45-degree angle to the right.
I don't know if that was... Is there a free kick there? As Tommy Barras tried to milk that a little bit? I don't know. It was definitely a push, but...
This is his 7th possession, and West Coast 2 ruckmen have had 6 between them.
Here's Meek coming in, looking for the Hawks 4th. He puts it through. He's got 6 now for the season, Lloyd Meek. The 26-year-old celebrates with the teammates around him. 4-4-28 Hawthorn, 1-4-10 the Eagles, 13 gone in the second term. Let's have another look.
Bit of a different avenue to... Oh, it's definitely there. Different avenue to goal there, though, wasn't it? It wasn't the fast ball movement that we've seen. It was calm, collected, short kicks, ball retention.
4-4. 8 shots. We know they kicked the cup out the full to 25 inside 50, so it's not a good ratio. West Coast 5 shots from 11, but it's in the middle. They're just dominating. That's why they're getting it in there so much. I mean, they're more than doubled inside 50s and double clearances.
They just can't get their hands on the ball. West Coast Hawthorn are completely controlling this game. Back in the middle. Moore was clever in there to tap it to Newcomb. Newcomb spun and gave it back to Moore. Well done by the Hawks midfield. The kick from Moore wasn't great. Oh, bounced and bobbled in front of Gunston. He got a shocking half volley and it beat him. All ends up through to the keeper and goes out of bounds for a throw in. Just outside the forward arc for the Hawks. 55 out. Flynn once again opposed to Meek. Got to front position, did Flynn. Did well. Took it out of the ruck and gave it immediately to Ryan. His short kick up the wing was looking for Allen. The Eagles skipper overran it. Coming through now is Yo. He tries to break through the tackle and can't. He's taken to ground. A strong tackle by Scrimshaw. So go again. The 2 rucks wrestle. Flynn to the front, trying to tap it out in front of Yo. The umpire blows a whistle. The non-officiating umpire blows the whistle and says Yo's jumper was tugged by Jai Newcomb as the 2 wrestled for the ball. So disposal number 3 coming up for Elliot Yo. He kicks up towards the wing. Flying from behind was Allen. Couldn't take the mark. Was knocked away from him. Meek did well to rove the pack to Moore. Gave it back to Amon. Dangerous kick inside towards the centre square. Chopped off. The handball was thrown away by McDonald for the Hawks. Brockman takes it for West Coast. Kicks it inside the forward 15. Oh, dear. Brosio came out, took the mark. Was met by Darling. Completely accidental, but manages to get to his feet and play on.
And sends it towards left half back for the Hawks. More marks. Inboard kick to Amon. Running by is Weddle. That's ignored. First time anyway. Eamon then will send it towards Moore, who had 2 Eagles to beat. Duggan able to bring it to ground. Stolen away off the deck, though, by Nash to Weddle, who continued on. He kicks inside forward 50. Watson out to mark.
Moore's now nearly at this next contest, and Duggan was pretty much still on the ground where that contest Moore halved was. Just not moving well at all, West Coast, and Hawthorn on top of the ground.
They're getting outworked simply around the ball. Midfield are absolutely destroying him.
Nick Watson, the Hawks' top pick in last year's draft at 5. He'll start at left half forward. He'll kick from just inside 50. Kicks on its way. It's across the face. It misses right, a minor score. So the Hawks move to be 4-5-29. The Eagles 1-4-10. Those inside 50s now 26-12 in favour of Hawthorn.
His goal kicking let him down this year, Nick Watson. 5-16 his kick for the season. What could have been in his first year as the ball goes out towards the wing. Pack flies down the ground level. The Eagles was Hunt. He was tackled out of bounds. So the umpire will toss the ball back in, out of sight of the ground. In between wing and half forward for West Coast. Or for the Hawks, still in their front half. They've had 62 more disposals than the Eagles already. As the ball spun back in, front of the pack was Warple, on top of him Kelly. The umpire will take the ball back and get us underway again. Tosses the ball back up in the air. Flynn did well in the front, tapped it down. It was sharked by Warple, kick into the middle of the ground. Over the top was Impey. Was able to knock it away. Weddle ends up with it. Still in that torn Guernsey. He was set upon. So too was Brockman, who came through for the Eagles. Then Yo's kick was smothered. Kicker becomes tackler. The Hawks, they managed to work it out. McKenzie's in there. He can't get it. Now Jimby for West Coast. Finally, a clear handball to Yo. Then Reed out towards Brockman. Back to Yo. Kicks it towards half forward. Looking for Darling. A lot of wrestling going on. With the umpire blow the whistle. Yes. There was a lot of bodies flying in. Wrestling going on. Darling up against the defender there. In Hardwick, I believe it was. It seems certain the umpire would blow the whistle and has. So Darling will have the set shot 45 metres out, tight angle to the right.
Not a lot in that one. Jack Darling's absolutely milked that for every bit it was worth.
Well, Darling has the set shot. Will the footy gods pay off for him? No. They favour Hawthorn. So
that foray was more luck than anything else. Hawthorn were out the front of that contest. Turnover, and the West Coast players were all still offside ball, so were able to transition from it, but not going to work for them.
It was knocked through for a minor score, so the Hawks leads up to 18 now.
Ball's been marked by West Coast at right half forward. It's in the hands of McGovern. Blues, by the way, lead by 45 points. 8 minutes gone in the last term at the MCG against the Tigers. Kicks inside forward 50, but it's been turned over. Now Ambrosio marks. He has it in the left back pocket. Sunday footy on ABC Sport from Perth Stadium. And it was short to Eamon. Came out of his hands up against Reed. Umpires say it's okay. And steps back inside his defensive 50. Play on's now the call. He'll kick towards the southern wing. Comes out the back to Watson. Got it to Gunston. Just got the hand pass away. Into traffic though. Hoff emerges with it. Gets it to Ryan. Sweeps it forward to Waterman. On in turn towards Hunt. He'll kick inside forward 50. Big pack goes flying. No one takes the mark. Hardwick's back there. Oh, gave it straight to Reed. And Reed had an immediate shot and has missed the lot. And there are 3 Eagles in good position, all turning around as if to go, hello. Hello. Instead,
it's first rush decision I think I've seen him.
Yeah.
Rush possession I've seen him make.
He was in shock because
he was down on his knees and the ball landed in his lap.
To him.
In the meantime, went out of bounds on the full, and from right full back, Jaff will get the free kick and he'll send it beyond defensive 50, and Flynn will mark at left half forward for the Eagles, who are getting a bit of possession in these last few moments, but they still trail on the scoreboard by 18 points. Time on in the second.
Flynn goes back to where it came. High kick into the pocket. Flying from the front was Darling. It was punched away from him. Inside the pack, goes out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. Just a few metres from where the free kick was taken just moments ago. Plenty of players filling up the Eagles forward line here. Flynn stands opposed to Nash in the ruck as the ball comes spun in, hits the deck, bounces back towards Flynn in the ruck, and he's tied up immediately. It's Connor Nash doing the ruck work inside defensive 50. This time he's able to move Flynn out of the way, punch it into the space. Cripps took it, gave it to Reid, and he, as he does so well, drew the high tackle from Jarman Impey, who was desperate to stop the Eagles' young gun. The tackle was over the shoulder. Reid will get the free kick, will have the chance to go back. Slight angle to the left, will kick from just inside the forward 50.
Milk it or not, that free kick is there. So this ball needs to go through, and oddly enough, if it does, they're 2 goals down.
It does.
It feels like Hawthorn are 10 goals in front.
Yep.
And they're not.
He's had a few weeks off. Harley Reid is back into the side. This will lift the crowd and get the Eagles fans going if he can deliver. And once again, he can't.
I was hoping for too much there, weren't we?
He got a little close to the man on the mark. He pulled it to the right. It's a minor score. The Eagles 1-6-12. The Hawks 4-5-29, a 17-point margin. 21 and a half played in the second term.
But Chris, your comment's a valid one. It does feel in every respect that the Hawks are 6-7 more goals in front. And yet they're not. The Eagles are still in this, incredible as that is. Hawthorn, though, have moved the ball along the commentary wing. Sicily to Hardwick and short now to Impey, who marks on his chest. It's just in front of the interchange gates for the Hawks. As Nash comes off and Newcomb comes on. Impey will roll inboard and then kick into the right forward pocket. Gunston is up. That's a great mark. Flew at it, was able to drag it down in a pack of about 5. If he decide to have a shot, he'll be kicking from about 53 out if he does. It's 45-degree angle to the right. Twirling the ball over in his hands. What will he do? Will out to the right. He'll centre it instead towards the teeth of goal. Duggan Flew got a hand on it, knocked it down. Kelly, then to Reid, now to Jimby. The Eagles should be away here to Hoff. Hand passes back inboard. Cripps, hand pass went to Ryan, was tackled the moment he gathered by Sicily. Spilled out. Cripps tries to gather, can't. Day emerges with it. Got a hand pass to Ginnivan. His hand pass intercepted by Hoff. He was tackled, got it to Witherden. Now to Duggan. The Eagles through the middle. Reid looks to tap it once to his own advantage through the centre circles. Keeps going, gathers, kicks into the right forward pocket. Waterman, he was infringed by Frost. He'll get the free kick. 35 from goal. Tighter than a 45-degree angle to the right.
That's the first time today they've won the ball in the back half and just gone bang, slingshot. Which is testament to how Hawthorn have defended and won the contest.
Thought for a second it wasn't going to quite pop up for Harley Reid then, but managed to keep some pace on the ball, change of angle, and then the kick out the back to Waterman was pretty much spot on for what he would have wanted.
27-11 from set shots this season. He's 36-15 for the year. Jake Waterman starts the approach. Kicks from 40. The reaction tells you the result.
He knew that was through before he touched the ground.
He's in some sort of form at the moment, Jake Waterman, as the Eagles have got their second. 2-6-18 West Coast. Hawthorn 4-5-29. 25 gone in the second quarter. And it's incredible to think with that, they're within 2 goals, West Coast.
It's ridiculous.
2 minutes to go in the half. They've dominated play.
Ridiculous.
They're not even 2 goals in front, which is what Hawthorn have, West Coast have to go in with at half time and say, we're not playing well here, but we're right with them.
2 minutes to go as well, at least.
Could score. Another one. Another one would really hurt Hawthorn.
Sam Mitchell has slammed the phone into the deck. And understandably, he'd be like, we should be so much further in front.
He would know.
Yeah.
Of all people, he's sitting there going, we are dominating and they're right with us.
Ball back in the middle. Comes down from the restart. In there for the Hawks as Newcombe stood up in the tackle. Gave the handball back to Meek. Kicks it towards half forward. It was touched off the boot. Ginnivan had to get rid of it quickly. Coming through was Warple. He tossed it away. Reid and Ginnivan now tangle inside the Hawks attacking 50. Reid was able to get it out. Ginnivan back to his feet. Got it to Warple. Now McKenzie. He's tackled immediately. Jimby. High fend off to Ginnivan. Umpire said play on. Kick goes out beyond defensive 50. For the Eagles, it's marked by Day, and he has a man open short in Warple. The ball travelled 20. Umpire said play on. Smothered off the kick. Now the Eagles repel out towards the wing. Scrimshaw beat Allen. Scrimshaw did well to get a fist in. Ball went over the back. Allen diving back on. Had a couple of Hawks to contend with. The away side wins the ball back. Eamon runs down the wing. Handball over the top, ends up with more. Little sidestep on Duggan was good. Was able to get some space. Kick inside the forward 50, and there was two Hawks waiting for it. Watson and Ginnivan had time basically to have a conversation. Rock, paper, scissors, who was going to take the mark. And in the end, well, maybe not for the best. Watson takes it. He hasn't been a sharp shooter, as I've already mentioned today. So he'll go back from 40 metres out, slight angle to the left.
Don't know about you, Muddy, but I really dislike that contest where I think it may have been
Oscar
Cripps, but they just left him there on his own in a 2v1 and they've gone straight past him.
Had to go to the contest, at least lock it up.
Nick Watson to answer back for the Hawks. Late in the first half, he makes it count. He punches the air. And the Hawthorn fans at the other end of the ground at the Graham Farmer Freeway end find their voice. Watson's got his first. The Hawks have their fifth. They're 5-5-35. The Eagles are 2-6-18. The margin back out to 17 points. 27 played in this second term. Mitch Turner here alongside Clint Wielder for ABC Sport, our experts, Sharad Wellingham and Chris Waterman.
Just got to run this 20 seconds out here. Not let Hawthorn get away. 20, what are they, 20 points? Just under 20 points. It's not bad, as I said before. They'll be going in thinking we've played horrible here, and we're still in this by a long way.
And other side of the coin, Hawthorn will go, geez, what
more could we have done?
What more could we have done? Just got to finish our work.
The bounce comes down to Reid. Tackled there by McKenzie. Got the ball out though. Picked up by Kelly. Goes back to Cole. Went one way then the other, and then I'm not sure what sort of kick that was, but it set out for Warple, who could gather, and he gave it to Jaff for the Hawks. Kicks towards centre half forward with it and punches it away towards centre half back. Ryan was there. Jinby racing through as the siren sounds. Hawthorn are 5-5-35 at the major break. The Eagles are 2-6-18. The Hawks' lead is 17 points. It could be so much more. The Eagles would know that they have played, well, fairly poorly and are still in this game. The inside 50s 30-17 in favour of the Hawks. Before we hear from our experts and the goal kickers, Cash Fodadar downstairs.
Just one to keep an eye on in the second half. Connor Nash came to the bench late in the second quarter there. Had a bit of work done on the left thigh, which has now been strapped up, and he definitely looked ginger as he jogged out to join his teammates in the huddle before they head off the ground. So we'll have to see how he's moving early in the second half.
Right.
Well, that would be handy if one of their midfielders was taken out of the game, because they are dominating through there. They're more 14, Dave 15.
Well, they're 50, over 50 possessions ahead.
Warple 16, Newcombe 18.
Can't get their hands on the ball at all, West Coast. And I mean, like I said, Hawthorn are doing a great job in contest, doing a great job in transition. They just can't finish.
Pause for a second. We'll get more of your thoughts. I'll just go through the goal kickers for everybody at home. For the Hawks, Watson, Ginnivan, Meek, Moore and Jaff. For West Coast, just the two, Waterman and Jones. Hawthorn 5-5-35, West Coast 2-6-18. Earlier today, Port by 2 points over St Kilda, and the game that's still underway, 18 gone in the final term. Carlton by 37 points over Richmond. The Blues are 15-11, the Tigers 9-10. What else have you made of this? I'm still staggered that West Coast are in the hunt.
Well, I think did I say it off air or on air that it's been a weird weekend of footy?
Yeah, on air, and you're right, it has been.
Yeah, it's a strange game because I think I said during the first quarter that it didn't feel like either team had settled, but they have settled. We're just seeing an ugly game of football here, and Hawks, they've got more possession. They're being harder in the contest. They'd be really frustrated. They can't finish off all of the work that they're doing. Outside of that, when they are getting repelled by McGovern and Barras, who weren't as effective that quarter, they were able to take some forward marks. We can get the forward in marks inside forward 50. I'm sure that there was 12.
They're on your screen. 12 to zip.
So that would have majority of those would have been in that quarter, I reckon. So they weren't quite as effective at repelling their inside 50s. I don't know if they'd be really that frustrated, or do they go in and go, we're doing everything right, it'll turn, or do they go, geez, what more can we do?
Well, they're getting outworked around the contest. Simple as that.
West Coast are.
Hawthorn would have to go in and say, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing and just finish off a little bit more, and we could win this by 10 goals, which they would do.
Yeah.
If they come out and play. West Coast have to change. I don't see Jimmy in the midfield working for him. Chester's only had 3 on the wing. He doesn't get enough of the ball. Maybe they could look at bringing Cripper up the ground onto the wing, swing it around, just a couple of little possession moves with players. Harley Reid's up to 11, but only had 3, I think, in the first quarter, so he got going late in that quarter and started getting his hands on it.
Yep.
Funny enough, West Coast looked like a team when he got involved. But overall, there's 60-plus possessions more to Hawthorn, which is a lot in a half of football.
That's a lot.
If it's over 100 at the end, they should be winning by 10 goals. So West Coast they need to make a mindset change and just make a few tweaking moves around the ground and get some guys into the game, and those who can't get in, readjust.
Warple just being a real menace for them inside in that contest, inside the clearance. He's got 8 clearances to half time, and not making the most of it. No, sorry, not making the most. That's the wrong way to put it. He's not being super damaging by foot, but he's bringing others in, isn't he? He's using his hands. So they need to start watching him at the stoppage. 8 clearances in a half is really hurting West Coast. They've got to take him, nuke him out in terms of the ball carry, and they'll put themselves in a bit of position to stop what Hawthorn have been able to do so well.
If Ruben Jimmy's going to play midfield, I think they need him to go and a hard lockdown on either Warple or Newcombe.
I don't think it's worth doing it on Newcombe because he'll just be able to keep running.
I've got a funny feeling he was at the start. He just got away from him. So maybe Warple around clearances, just complete lockdown. Wait to see if Nash comes back into the game. But you're right, they're doubling clearances, nearly double inside 50s and 60-plus more possessions. But 17 points is not enough to say we're safe here.
No, not
nowhere
at all.
near it.
West Coast, no, they won't be I don't think they've got to change too much. They've just got to be harder in the contest.
Mindset's got to change.
Yeah.
Just got to win the ball.
Imagine the boys in the forward line would be pretty frustrated. It's gone in there reasonably effectively, but they would have felt like they were just standing out there doing nothing half the game then. No forays forward. Not enough forays forward.
I just wonder, with Harry Morrison sitting as the sub, what advantage could that be to Hawthorn? Because their runners are dominating anyway, maybe unless they give someone a spell and just get some fresh legs. But I just wonder what Ryan Marich can do for West Coast. That's the odd one out. If there was another runner there, but what does Ryan Marich do? Does he go forward and just stretch him when Jake can run up the ground? Oscar's on his second game, so maybe not. Potentially put one of the ruckmen on the bench and go a little bit smaller, maybe a Cripps or a Ryan further up the ground. I'm not sure, but I'd think about that sub very quickly for West Coast, just change the dynamics of the game. That's all they need to do.
Thoughts of Chris Waterman, dual premiership player, alongside our other expert, Collingwood premiership player, Sharad Wellingham, Mitch Turner, and myself, Clint Wilden, with you. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. If you want to send us a text, we can run through some of those at half-time. 0437 774 774. 0437 774 774. Repeating the other game, still in play. 22 minutes gone in the last. The Blues running away with it now. They're up to a 55-point lead. 18-11, 119 to Richmond's 9-10, 64. And earlier, Port beat St Kilda by 2 points. Here at Perth Stadium, at the major break, the Hawks 5-5-35 to West Coast 2-6-18. Wherever you are on ABC Radio, Sport Digital, streaming on the ABC Listen app. Look for the AFL or the AFL Extra buttons to find us. This is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport. Let's pause and get the latest from the ABC newsroom.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. The Prime Minister has indefinitely suspended Senator Fatima Payman from the Federal Labor Caucus over her advocacy for a Palestinian state. Georgia Roberts has more from Parliament House.
Senator Payman drew criticism from Labor colleagues for crossing the floor of the Senate to vote for a Greens motion to recognise a Palestinian state. And she's told the ABC's Insiders program she would do it again if necessary. After her appearance on Insiders today, she confirmed to the ABC she'd been suspended from the Labor caucus following a conversation with Anthony Albanese at the Lodge. A government spokesperson says Senator Payman has placed herself outside the privilege of participating in the caucus.
The Forensic Crash Unit is investigating the cause of a bus crash in North Queensland today, which has killed 3 people and injured several others. Rebecca Heim reports.
Police say the bus was travelling north on the Bruce Highway 8 kilometres from Gumloo near Bowen when it collided with a southbound four-wheel drive towing a caravan just after 11 a.m. Superintendent Graham Payne says 3 women on board the bus died at the scene.
A crash of this nature involving this many people is a very significant and very tragic incident for us.
The Queensland Ambulance Service says 7 people on the bus have suffered life-threatening injuries, while a further 20 passengers have sustained minor injuries. Police are asking any witnesses or anyone with dashcam footage to come forward urgently.
A man has faced a Melbourne court today charged with murdering a fisherman on Frankston Pier in Melbourne's southeast. 36-year-old Forrest Stevenson was arrested by police shortly after a 45-year-old Cranbourne North man was found unresponsive on the pier following reports of an alleged assault. Today, the Melbourne Magistrates Court heard the police required an extension to compile a brief of evidence, so pathology and DNA testing could be carried out on items recovered from the scene. Mr. Stevenson was remanded in custody and will return to court in November. Still in Victoria, where the opposition says changes to e-cigarette laws may not lead to a decline in vaping. From tomorrow, vapes containing nicotine can only be legally sold to people with a prescription from their doctor at pharmacies. It's part of the federal government's plans to crack down on the availability of vapes, while still helping people who are trying to quit smoking. Victorian Shadow Minister David Davis says he's unsure how it will work in practice.
The government has not been able to close down the illegal supply, it seems, to date. And it's not clear why that would stop now.
Police are investigating the vandalism of 4 memorial sites near the Australian War Memorial in Canberra overnight. Courtney Barrett-Peters has more on this story.
The Korean and Vietnam War monuments are among the sites to have been graffitied with pro-Palestinian messages. It's the 3rd time this year sites in the area have been vandalised. The War Memorial itself was graffitied a fortnight ago. In a statement, a spokesperson for ACT Policing said the latest incident will be considered alongside the previous matters. They said while peaceful protest is part of a healthy democracy, criminal acts will not be tolerated.
A humpback whale has been freed from a tangle of fishing lines, ropes and buoys off the Victorian coast. The adult whale was first spotted by helicopter crews a week ago and then disappeared. It was found again on Friday, more than 20 kilometres off the coast of Marlow in eastern Victoria. Then crews commenced an operation to set it free. Incident controllers say the whale may have become entangled during its summer feeding season off Antarctica and can now continue its migration journey along Australia's east coast. An airline in Canada has cancelled flights affecting almost 50,000 passengers amid industrial action. WestJet Airlines says it cancelled 400 flights after failing to reach agreement with the union representing striking mechanics. Canada's Labour Minister, Seamus O'Regan, is urging WestJet and the union to resolve their differences and reach an agreement. 19-year-old Paralympic swimmer Jasmine Greenwood says making the Australian squad for the second time around is an honour. The Canberra-based swimmer took home a silver medal at the Tokyo Games in the 100-metre butterfly. She says the team will leave for France in the coming weeks in order to try and acclimatise for what some are predicting will be the hottest games on record.
We've spent the past 2 years sort of acclimatising there before we've gone into a competition. So we're going to be doing that again this year, and I think that's probably our best chance of being prepared for the weather.
And in the National Rugby League, St George Illawarra has beaten the Dolphins by 26 points to 6. This is ABC News.
Time to steady and pull the trigger!
Have you heard the latest AFL podcast from the ABC? Join myself, Catherine Murphy, and AFL legend Paul Roos as we discuss all the big storylines. Feed your footy obsession or just learn more about the game as we bring you all the latest news and analysis. Find the ABC AFL Daily Podcast on the ABC Listen app.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Williams wins the tap down, doing the right work for the Eagles, and it's Ryan who gathers. Kicks West Coast inside forward 50. Allen out, couldn't mark against Sicily. Spills down to Jones, gathers, shoots, kicks the goal. Eagles have got there first. Comes now again to Jack. He's 2 kicks from goal. Hawks heading to the city end of Perth Stadium. The kick's long towards full forward. Oh, charging out me. That was a strong grab. He was able to work Barris out from in front as well. And the former Docker can go back and have a shot, Lloyd Meek, who'll be shooting from about 25 metres out, better than a 45-degree angle to the right. Here's Meek coming in, looking for the Hawks' fourth. He puts it through. Day emerges with it, got a hand pass to Ginnivan. His hand pass intercepted by Hopp. He was tackled it, got it to Witherden. Now to Duggan. The Eagles through the middle. Green looks to tap it once to his own advantage through the centre circles. Keeps going, gathers, kicks into the right forward pocket. Waterman. He was infringed by Frost. He'll get the free kick. 35 from goal. Tighter than a 45-degree angle to the right. Jake Waterman starts the approach. Kicks from 40. The reaction tells you the result. He's in some sort of form at the moment, Jake Waterman, as the Eagles have got their second.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio,
ABC Sport Digital.
and on the ABC Listen app.
This is an intriguing game of football here at Perth Stadium. Hawthorn, as we've said, really should be so much further in front, but the Eagles are just hanging around. 5-5-35 to 2-6-18. The Blues have drawn further away from Richmond at the MCG. They're up by 61 points now. Half an hour gone in the last. 20 goals, 11, 131 to the Tigers, 10-10-70. If you'd like to get in touch with us, we'd love to hear from you. 0437 774 774. Kane Albany asks a question for our experts. Chris Waterman is here. Sharad Willingham has disappeared. He'll be back. Hi, says Kate. Chris, is Harley Reid being tagged at the moment?
I don't think so. I haven't seen one tag in this game. I was trying to work out whether Ruben was tagging one of their midfielders, but if he was getting beaten. But I don't see Hawthorn tagging at all. It's just not their go, particularly with the Warple, Newcomb, Nash, who were dominating with possession out of the centre clearances.
Stood alongside Newcomb at a lot of centre bounces, so maybe it's just that old head-to-head, two very tough footballers of a similar style in terms of the way they attack the footy, so yeah, no tag.
Well, if that's the case, then Ruben's had 5, John Newcomb's had 19. He needs to turn that round.
Let's have some of the numbers, please, Mitch.
So some of those numbers, some of those have been mentioned already during this halftime break, but the team stats, one of the damning ones, Hawthorn 209 disposals, the Eagles 145. They just cannot get their hands on the ball. The marks 64 to 50 the way of Hawthorn. The uncontested possessions 136 to 87. The contested possessions 66 to 58, all favouring Hawthorn. The tackle count 33 to 31 the Hawks way. The hitouts 16 to 14 the Hawks way. And again the Hawks way. The clearances 18 to 9. The inside 50s 30 to 17. And 10 marks inside 50 to Hawthorn. 0 for West Coast. The individuals, John Newcomb, as just mentioned by Chris Waterman, 19 disposals, leads all comers on the ground. James Warple has 16 for Hawthorn as well. Nash and Day both with 15 apiece. For the Eagles, Liam Duggan has the most. 15 touches for him. Jeremy McGovern with 13. Harley Reid up to 12. Started to get going in that second term. He has the third most for West Coast. And Jaden Hunt with 10 touches after a quiet game last time out against the Bombers.
You know, one of the things I love is text messages who abuse us, but they don't give our name. So someone's called us Muppets.
Fair.
Fair. Fair.
We are.
Fair for us. I'll cop that. That's fine. But some days he's Brad. Some days he's Rob. Some days he's Steve. Some days he's John. Some days he's Jim. Any sorts. Ken. He's Ken as well.
He's Ken up.
Just going back through all the texts he sent. Every single one of them is basically abusing the ABC and saying we're no good. But yet, whatever your name is, Steve, Rob, Ken, Rob again, Rob, unhappy Hawks listener, Rob, Brad, and now no name whatsoever, you're still with us.
Thanks for tuning in.
You're still here with us.
Sometimes he's Steve, sometimes he's Brad. It'd be nice if sometimes he was right, but that's okay.
As the Muppets go, I'd be very happy you can call me Waldorf or Stadler, because that's how I like to be. One of those grumpy old blokes just throwing shade.
We'll play our role. They were very successful, the Muppets, hence we're talking about.
They were.
We'll take that.
Anyway, that's one of the highlights of my day, seeing that. Nice to have you with us, Rob, Steve, Glenn, Tim, whatever you know.
The whole crew.
The whole crew. We're all here for you. West Coast and Hawthorn are back out on the ground. They're warming up. I'd say almost 90% of Perth Stadium now in shade. It's intriguing to see what can happen from this point in time. I'd love to hear from you. It'd be great if the ABC commentators were unbiased and fair in their commentary in the West Coast Hawks games. The ABC should be neutral. I'm not enjoying this commentary. You can do better than this. I'm not a West Coast or a Hawks supporter. Your thoughts, please. What are you saying, Ruth? I'm not sure if we're biased towards Hawthorn or West Coast.
I just don't get it. We've been talking about Hawthorn have been dominating this game and should be 6 goals up.
Yeah.
And we're in awe of how well Hawthorn are playing in comparison to West Coast in terms of controlling the game. I am confused.
I'm confused, Ruth.
I will run out and hug Dylan Moore next time he kicks a goal if that makes everyone happy.
I love being accused of being biased over here in the West. It's great fun. So, how does this second half play out? If you were Adam Simpson, what would you be saying to your team? Because they have been very poor and yet are still right in this contest. So what's the message you sell to them from this point onwards? Sharad Wellingham, premiership player. Chris Waterman, dual premiership player.
I'd be saying we're pretty lucky to be in the position we're in still.
Absolutely.
Take the most of that. Just get the job done inside. Start winning some contest midfield. Start getting your hands on the ball, and you'll put the ball inside the forward line because the forwards are doing a good job. Just need to get it in there, get some contested clearances. Stop the Hawthorn run and carry. If you're the Hawthorn coaching committee, they'd just be saying we've got to finish all of our good work because at the moment they're moving the ball well, winning the hard stuff, just not able to capitalise.
There's no Jimby in the middle, so that move's been made. He's on the bench, and there's no ruckman in the forward line, so they're going just a tad smaller, West Coast.
So the Hawks by 17 points, second half about to get underway. Mitch Turner with you on ABC Sport.
So in the middle of the Eagles, Reid, Kelly, Yo up against Nash, Newcomb, Day. In the ruck, it's Meek winning it over Flynn, tapped it straight down to Nash, tackled immediately by Yo. So most of the big guns in there for both sides. Looking to get this second half underway. Ball tossed back up in the air, tapped down. Reid took possession, was dispossessed, went back and got it. Broke one tackle, stood up in the second, got the handball over the top to Yo. Had the runner in, Flynn of all people. His kick inside the 50 was, as you'd expect, a wobbler. It's chopped off by Sicily. Gave it to Impey, ran away from Flynn. Handball back now to D'Ambrosio and out wide. The settling kick finds Scrimshaw just beyond defensive 50. So the Hawks with a chance to settle it down a little bit. The kick though from Scrimshaw was too hot for Newcomb. Chesser came in, applied the pressure, then held Newcomb without it. The umpire waited a little while, eventually decided to pay that free kick to Jai Newcomb. So the Hawks just get a little reprieve there as Newcomb will have the ball back through a free kick. Kicks high up to the wing. Big pack forms at the back. McGovern loaded up like he wanted to throw the fist at it for a moment, then realised he was in position 1A, took the mark. Once again, another intercept, was able to go short to Elliot Yo, his second disposal so far this quarter.
Yo stabs the pass to Rotham. He's got it at centre half back for the Eagles and kicks out towards left half back. Marked there by Cole. Ruth says bias towards West Coast, of course. Good on you, Ruth. Kick down the outer side. Taken there by Oscar Allen. Sends it towards left half forward. He wanted Waterman. And Waterman's been given a free kick. They'll play on and take the advantage, the Eagles, as Darling grubbers it towards goal. In the goal square, D'Ambrosio gets in front of Chesser. He takes possession, tackled by Chesser and taken to ground. Which I enjoy from Sue from Wangaratta, who responds, the Texas got it wrong. The TV commentary team's Hawthorn biased. You guys aren't too bad.
Thank you. Jack Darling just tried to dribble it when there were two guys on the goal line.
Flynn taps it back towards the attacking goal square. D'Ambrosio gathers. Bounces a kick beyond defensive 50. Trying to take it was Hoff. He does well to work it against Watson. Then kicks straight into Newcomb. Newcomb in the right position with the spoil. It spills away and over the boundary line for a throw-in at right half forward for West Coast, who trail on the scoreboard 5-5-35 to Hawthorn 6-18. What's the groan for?
Big Jake's just coming off with a hammock.
You're allowed to be like that when you're his dad.
Yeah.
Jake Waterman is in strife. He's off the ground with a hamstring injury. That's a real blow for the Eagles. Hawthorn get the ball away from the restart. It came to Day onto Nash, tackled strongly. Hoff got him over the boundary line and the footy. Big cheer from the locals.
He's actually got a gash right on his knee, Jake Waterman. That might be the issue. It's quite a big gash on his right knee.
The trainer was looking at it as he walked off too.
He grabbed hold of his hamstring, so we'll wait and see.
So Hoff takes the free kick after Nash was pinged for holding the ball. Went inside forward 50, aim on mark, and then sends it beyond defensive 50 to Scrimshaw for the Hawks. He'll kick down the line and stretching for it. McGovern slid, couldn't quite take the mark. It's gone over the line before it was taken by Deere. It'll be a throw-in at left half forward for the Hawks, who lead 5-5-35 to West Coast 2-6-18. 3.5 gone in the third.
No score yet so far in this third term. The Hawks maintaining that 17-point lead. They took into the main break. Flynn got to the front of the contest. Tapped it down to Duggan. Snap around the corner was read well by Jarman Impey. Friend of us here, of course, at ABC Sport. Part of the coverage occasionally over there in Melbourne. Jarman Impey kicks it long and high inside the attacking 50. Barris did well to punch it away from Deere. Followed up his work brilliantly as well. Got it to Duggan. Straightens up on the left foot. Kicks it back towards the wing. Jumping early was Allen. Taking the intercept mark was Scrimshaw. Able to give it back to Impey immediately. 2-on-1 inside the forward 50 for the Hawks. Just had to work out how not to infringe. Meek stood up and took the mark. He got a bit of help from behind from Gunston. As we'll quickly go downstairs before Meek takes a set shot at Cash Vodadar on the boundary.
Yeah, Matt Flynn has limped off and he is in a lot of pain. He's on his hands and knees while the medical staff look at him on the bench.
So too.
I was just trying to find him on the ground, looking, where's the opposition ruckman? Where was he positioned? Obviously he was hurt.
So Meek lining up for goal number 2. Kick is away to the right by a long way, and it's carried the distance out of bounds on the full, so can't add to his goal-kicking stats today and can't add to the score. It's still a 17-point margin the way of the Hawks, 5-5-35. The Eagles, 2-6-18.
If you'd been less biased, he could have kicked that, Mitch. Shame on you. Kick here for Rotham, beyond defensive 50 towards left half back. Going up was Darling, got hands to it, spilled down to Moore. He's taken high. Eagles fans don't like it. The free kick was there. Moore glancing inboard. He'll send it back into the centre. Sicily marks, uncontested. Ryan goes to close him down. Sicily will kick inside forward 50. Leaping up Watson. Spoil came at the back from the Eagles. Slapped out by Cripps. It was a bit slack. Went straight to Newcomb. Got a hand pass away to Hardwick. Hands it off again. Now to McDonald, who snaps and goals. And punches the air in joy. Sent it into where the Hawthorn fans are based at the Farmer Freeway end of Perth Stadium. The Hawks have got their 6th. Comes at the 6-minute mark of the third term. Hawthorn 6-5-41. The Eagles 2-6-18. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. A Cash Vodadar downstairs.
Yeah, Cal Shadir is heading down to the Hawthorn rooms with a physio and a doctor for company as well. So they've got a few concerns on the bench as well.
That was just poor by Cripps. We needed to grab that ball. Just hoping for the best there. They were actually out West Coast. They had a couple going forward. Just simple little mistakes like that. And this game is now, well, it's 4 goals. It's not entirely away, but not away from them. West Coast have started with more intent. That's for certain. But That's a basic mistake. You need to grab the ball there.
We'll get down to a catch photo now in just a moment. Ball back in the middle. Meek tapped it into the path of Newcombe. Jimby's right there with him. Was able to dispossess him, though. The Eagles turn it straight back over Jaff. In the middle of the ground. Delays the handball. Gives now to Warple. The kick inside the forward 50. Finds the lead of the forward turn defender turned forward in Blake Hardwick. Will go back. Set shot 40 to 45 metres out. Slight angle to the left. Was drafted as a forward.
Well, that's mark number 13 inside 50 to West Coast none.
Blake Hardwick lining up for goal number 13 this season. And remarkably, 15 for his career. Strikes the ball purely and beautifully from 45 and puts it straight over the goal umpire's hat. The Hawks go bang, bang. They kick 2 in a couple of minutes. All of a sudden, that margin has stretched out to 29 points, and they're starting to get ascendancy on the scoreboard. 7-5-47 the Hawks, 2-6-18 the Eagles. Mitch Turner here alongside Clint Wilden for ABC Sport, our experts Chris Waterman and Sharad Wellingham.
Yeah, it was a nice change of angle from Warple coming inside 50, kept it to the fat side of the forward 50. 2 good leads from the Hawks players.
Quick update downstairs, the cash photo.
Yeah, Hawthorn have actually pulled the trigger on that sub. Deere is out of the game and Harry Morrison is in, while for West Coast, Matthew Flynn is just slowly and gingerly making his way down to the rooms as well.
It was a Petrarca kind of like mechanism for Deere, the knee from Barris into the side, which is concerning.
The restart, Hawks win the tap. Getting it down was Meek, but straight to Jinby, who's tackled immediately by Warple. No pry, they'll ball it up. Forward edge of the centre circles for Hawthorn. Throwing up again, one down by Meek. Warple tries to hack it out of mid-air, missed it, going through Kelly, couldn't take it, bounced off him to Warple. Kicks the Hawks towards centre half forward, good hands Watson. Marks on the attacking edge of the centre square, immediately sends it towards full forward. Punch came from the Eagles, down towards Rotham, tackled immediately by Hardwick. Did he get taken over the shoulder? He was. Free kick for West Coast. They've got it at left full back, and he'll move it short. Find Hunts. He's in the left back pocket. So Rotham to Hunts. Beyond defensive 50, they turn it over. Morrison, the godson of the great Ken Judge. Also wearing the number 1, just like Judgey did in his playing days for the Hawks. Finds Eamon, and then he'll move it on again to Jaff, who marks it right half forward. And Jaff for the Hawks to put it back inside forward 50. Hawthorn in control now. They're up by 29 points.
Disposal 14 for Jaff as ran into a little trouble on the mark. Kicks on the left, high inside the forward 50. At the front, Rotham couldn't take the mark, nor could Hardwick for the Hawks. Reed tries to shake the tackle of Chol. Stood up long enough to feed the handball off. Ends up with Witherden to the Eagles. Kicks it into the middle of the ground, over the head of Frost. Darling got a fist in, tracking back for Hawthorn is Scrimshaw under pressure. Gets it to McKenzie. The Hawks running backwards as they get almost all the way to their defensive 50 before Sicily releases the run of Weddle. Handball out to the broadcast wing. Scrimshaw pops over the top to Morrison again. Now Weddle continued his run. And eventually short target further ahead in Chol. Has the ball 65 from home. Looking for Ginnivan. Big punch over the top. Tom Cole set the ball into orbit. Standing under it was McKenzie. Had to wait an eternity for it to come down. Was immediately tackled. It'll be a ball up right on the paint of 50. Half forward for the Hawks. They lead by 29 points. Meek taps it down to the run of Warple straight off the stoppage. The kick on goals away to the left. Couldn't make the most of it. Minus score 7-6-48 the Hawks. 2-6-18 the Eagles. 30-point margin. 7.5 minutes played in the third term.
Sunday footy on ABC Sport. McGovern stands with ball in hand. Runs beyond his defensive goal square and then will kick towards the northern side of the ground. Jimby spilled down, bounced off Yo. Newcombe had it, gave it to Impey. Quick hand pass to Morrison, back to Impey. Has to backtrack, did well. Spun away from a teammate and then got taken high, was he? Yes, by Harley Reid. Grabbed him over the shoulder and then took him to ground. Eamon will step back and then send it out to Sicily, who marks on the logo. On the commentary wing, short pass to Weddle. The new jumper on, some running repairs. at half-time to Sicily. Kicks into the left forward pocket. That's a good mark today. Front position. Caught it at the highest point he could. Hands right up above his head, and he drags it in deep in the left forward pocket for the Hawks.
Hardwick clambering all over.
Looks like Ryan Marich is coming on down there, is he? He's on the ground now, so that's obviously a...
Will that be for...
Flynn or Jake? One of the two.
Day steps in. It starts out to the right. Will it swing back? It won't. Continued on its path. Missing minor score to the right-hand side. The Hawks move on. They're 7-7-49. The Eagles 2-6-18. 11 gone in the third.
McGovern to bring the ball back into play. Kick to the wing. 3 Eagles bigs are there. So too's Meek for the Hawks. Allen couldn't take the mark. Darling did well to rove it at the front of the pack. Kicks it out in front of Ryan. Did great to take the mark against Weddle. Has Brockman over the top. The former Hawk tries to step around Eamon. Fell to the ground. The turf came out underneath his feet. Feeds it back to Ryan, and the kick inside of the 50 is taken strongly by Jaff. There's that turf just coming out from underneath Brockman as he tried to change direction. It's with the Hawks, and Morrison has the ball in the back pocket. Goes by hand to Ginnivan in unfamiliar territories. He kicks up the wing in front of Gunston. Couldn't tap it to his advantage. Came the other way. Was Hoff. Did well to keep the ball in front and go short to Duggan. The catch spotted right down on the boundary quickly.
Yeah, Matt Flynn is the one subbed out with an ankle injury. With Jake Waterman, it's a gash to the back of the knee, so we might still see him come back onto the field.
Duggan's kick inside the forward 50. Marek, the sub there, couldn't take the mark. Cripps and the Eagles was dispossessed by Amon, and it's holding the ball, and they'll take the advantage, Hawthorn.
Surging through the middle of the ground. The hand pass now to Nash. He'll move it on towards right half forward. Gunston marks, plays on, takes a bounce from 60 out, sends it towards Moore, who marks. Just to the right and the top of the goal square. He should be able to step back and kick this easily enough for the Hawks.
That was just typical of the way they are playing, Hawthorn. That was clinical.
That was beautiful transition, wasn't it? Nice and clean.
Dylan Moore looking for his second, puts it through for Hawthorn. And they have come out after half-time and taken complete control. They've kicked 3 goals to no score. 8-7-55 the Hawks, 2-6-18 the Eagles. 14 gone in the third term.
Transition all the way from the defensive 50 tackle from Eamon, and then they were just off to the races, weren't they? Linking up through the middle.
The fact that there's no score from West Coast tells you they just got no midfield ascendancy whatsoever.
Zero.
No clean ball.
So Dylan Moore gets his second. Beautifully set up by Jack Gunston.
Should we be surprised that a Sam Mitchell-led team is dominating at clearances? Probably shouldn't.
The Eagles' last score was the goal they kicked in the 24-minute mark of the second term through the boot of Jake Waterman, who is currently downstairs getting some running repairs on a nasty cut to the back of his leg. This ball's back underway in the middle. Comes down to congestion. Players dive on top of it. Brockman and Warp are the last two to emerge. It'll be tossed up again, still inside the centre square. Williams and Meek do the ruck work. Tapped out the back into the path of Cripps for the Eagles. Kicks it inside the forward 50. Reed on the lead, waited for it to bounce. It bounced through him. And Weddle sees the ball out of bounds. Just couldn't quite get the kick to the chest of Harley Reid was Jamie Cripps. The ball will be spun back inside the Eagles attacking 50. Rear 4A forward, 23rd inside 50 for the Eagles. Ball back into play. Nash's kick was smothered by Yo. Ricochet to Frost. Clever little handball to D'Ambrosio. His handball to Warple was a bit more dangerous. Eventually ends up with Weddle. High kick beyond defensive 50. Going back, almost taking a ripping mark was Duggan. He couldn't in the end. Ginnivan dived in over it. Duggan back to his feet, contesting with Watson. And eventually happy to see the ball over the boundary line right in front of the Hawks bench. The players giving their teammates a round of applause. They lead this contest by 37 points, 16 played in the third term. Still no sign of Jake Waterman downstairs.
couple of requests, very cheerful ones too, for an update on Jake. We'll tell you more when we know more. Can't go down to the rooms ourselves, unfortunately, as Cripps, although I'm sure Cash would like to, gathers on the wing, kicks around the body towards right half forward. Marrick brought it to ground. There's a holding decision here. It's going the way of Hawthorn. Locals are unhappy. Sicily has it. He steers it back inside his defensive 50 to France. Plays on to Amon. Bursting by Weddle. Takes a bounce and keeps going. Ren's past Marrick. Kicks into the right forward pocket. Scholl takes an uncontested mark in the right forward pocket. About a metre in from the boundary.
Full ground transition again from Hawthorn. No pressure on the ball carrier at all. Weddle's pace then was impressive, wasn't it?
Oh, burst away. Joel off a step, snaps around the body. He's missed. A minor score. 8-8-56 the Hawks, 2-6-18 the Eagles. 18 gone in the third. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Duggan tasked with the kick-in duties on that long left boot. Kicks to the wing. Big pack of Eagles flew. No one could take the mark. Down in front, Brockman did the roving. Kicks it towards a 2-on-1 favouring Hawthorn. Gets out the back though. Ryan running onto it. Jaff beats him to it. Handball over the top to Morrison. Crashed into by Marrick. And the umpire said it was high. A little clumsy from the sub onto the ground, Ryan Marrick. Also a bit of a duck potentially from Harry Morrison. The two subs going at it.
Not sure. Not sure about that one.
Could have gone either way as Morrison tries to receive the free kick. Comes wide to the skipper in Sicily's. Kick over the top. A little hot for Weddle. Had to go back and get it. Kelly happy to usher him over the boundary line. Some of the stats. Liam Duggan's up to 18 for the Eagles. John Newcomb 24 for Hawthorn, leading all comers on the ground. James Warple with 21 and 10 clearances as the ball spun back in on the wing.
Getting out there, Williams wins it down for West Coast. Ginby can't gather it first time. Goes over the top of the football. More players pile in to lock it in, including D'Ambrosio and Warple and Yo. Ball up the call. It's been all Hawthorn in this quarter so far. Williams taps it down for the Eagles. Yo's out after it and then tackles Ginnivan. Get it right eventually. Did it without him getting anywhere near the football. So Ginnivan will have it at left half back. Cash Fodder downstairs.
Jake Waterman's emerged from the rooms and looks to be running okay with that right knee strapped up.
That is good news for West Coast, with Flynn already out through injury. Both teams have made their subs. This is Connor McDonald still rocking the rat's tail, which is an interesting look if you're not in the 1980s. Comes back to Sicily. Kick into the middle of the ground. Nicely taken by Impey. Marks and plays on and sends it towards Joel, who marks. He wore one from Barris too. Take your pick. Mark will free kick. The mark's the one he'd want though. And stay down for a moment.
Foot skills of Sicily are just outstanding, aren't they? He can pierce his teammate from 50 away easy off a step.
Abior Chol gets up, takes a deep breath, wipes the sweat from his brow. Looking for the Hawks' 9th. 8 disposals so far and 5 marks today for Chol. Looking for his first of the day. Slow, deliberate approach. He steers it through for another Hawthorn major. 20 minutes gone in the third. It's all the Hawks. 9-8-62 to the Eagles, who, as they were at half-time, they haven't kicked a goal since the 25-minute mark of the second. They're 2-6-18. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. It's getting dire out there for the home side.
Yeah, it's now entering the Adrian territory. Jack Darling's going into the ruck, which hasn't happened for about 10 years.
And now the clearance worries that they've already got are probably just going to be amplified with a untried ruckman.
The only thing they do know is they're not sure what's going to happen.
Getting close to it officially ticking into being an entire quarter without a score at all for the Eagles. As Darling out of the ruck, ball comes towards Newcombe. He's tackled immediately. Kelly on top of him, so Meek and Darling will go at it again. Fair height advantage the way of the Hawks ruckman. Ball up in the air, over the top. Meek tapped it down, straight to Cripps. He's tackled. Go again. Former Docker, Lloyd Meek, pushed out of the way this time by Darling. Couldn't take possession as he tried to gather his own ball. Yowie got it to Duggan. His handball out in front of Ryan's, chopped off by the Hawks. McKenzie was able to get it to Impey. Now Morrison. Risky handball out wide to Jath. Tries to run back into traffic. Spins, turns back the way he came and kicks out wide. A strong mark taken by Carl Amon, who's quick to move it on inside to McDonald. A little bit of urgency about the Hawks. They go back and across now. A long way to Sicily. Reed coming through, made contact with Sicily. Front on contact. Affected the spoil, but did so illegally. So Sicily will win the free kick inside his own defence. The sleeves rolled up for the Hawks skipper. Goes wide to Impey. And further afield now to Ginnivan with the sleeves. More regulation down to his wrists. The Hawks lead by 44 points. 23 minutes played here. Third term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Sorry, Mitch. Ginnivan moves it today. And he marks in front of the interchange gates.
Just controlling it, Hawks. It's just one-way traffic.
Certainly is.
Coming clinical, really.
Kicks inside forward 50. There's another mark inside 50. This to Meek, and he releases more. Hands it off to Gunston. He'll grubber it along the ground towards goal. Jimmy gets back there and knocks it through for a rush behind. Had other options. Gunston is normally good enough, but the Eagles could get players back there. 9-9-63 Hawthorn, 2-6-18 West Coast. 24 gone in the third.
It's now 117 possessions, the difference.
Witherden's high kick beyond defensive 50. There's a rare highlight. Oscar Allen takes the mark.
And 16 marks to none inside forward 50.
Allen with plenty of numbers up the field, but the Hawks are set up so well. Has to retreat backwards to Duggan. So Eagles now chip it back to where Allen was standing a moment ago. Hunt has it. His kick further afield to the sub in Ryan Marrick. Just below our broadcast position here on the wing. Kicks it up dangerously towards Kelly in a one-on-one. Went over the top of him. Newcombe was able to recover his position, gather it, give it to Impey. Now D'Ambrosio. Handballs up the line to Moore. Tight against the boundary. Still beyond attacking 50. Ginnivan with an outside of the boot kick towards half forward. Not really sure where he was going as Jones met solidly by McKenzie. Stayed down. The umpire called play on. Didn't appear to be high contact from what the umpire thought as we see the replay, and looks fair. McKenzie collected Jones. The ball is tossed back out to restart play. A dangerous kick across the Hawthorn attacking 50. Witherden gathers. McDonald has him. He's able to get the handball out to Jimby. Gets it over the top to Witherden. The Eagles running beyond defensive 50 now through hands. Cole gave it to Marrick. Tackle trying to take on Sicily. Could not get through. Cops a mouthful from the Hawks captain as well. As Cole, standing the mark, pushes him over. The umpire opts against the 50-metre penalty.
Moves it to Morrison. Kicks into the right forward pocket. Barris did well to spoil in front of Gunston, and then Duggan's happy to take it over the boundary line under pressure. It'll be a throw-in. 49 out from the Hawks attacking goal. They're heading to the left of our broadcast position, the Farmer Freeway end in this quarter. The Eagles fans haven't had much to cheer about in this term as Meek wins the tap, punching it forward. Trying to get after it. Cole dives on top of the football. Spills out, though, to McKenzie. He's tackled by McGovern. Another ball up inside the Hawks' forward 50. It's been a brown and gold procession in the third quarter at Perth Stadium today. Meek waits. Williams flies, taps it down. Jinby got it. Hand pass meant for Williams. Couldn't take it cleanly. Newcombe put his head over the football. Ginnivan emerges with it to Nash. Hand pass over the shoulder. Wanted more. Tapped it to Ginnivan. Ginnivan will snap. He'll kick towards the left forward pocket. Gunston can't keep it in. It's over for a boundary throw-in. I'd been surprised if Ginnivan, rather than looking for Gunston, had gone himself under those circumstances. The Hawks can do what they like at the moment, and most of it is paying off. Ball put back into play again. Williams front position, Meek at the back, palmed it down but straight to Yeo. Wobbles a kick, tumbling towards right half back. It's been locked in here. Allen, good bit of defensive work. Scrimshaw had it, Allen tackled him. Ball up at right half back for the Eagles. It's all the Hawks on the scoreboard. 45 points the difference, 27 gone in the third.
4 goals to none this quarter so far in favour of the travelling side. Kick up the wing, had a bit of height on it. Marrick did well. Going back and take the mark. Sicily was holding his shoulder, running to the bench as the handball from Marrick goes towards Reid. Ran himself into trouble. Kicks it out of bounds on the full as we see Sicily getting help from the field, the Hawthorn captain. And he's in a fair bit of discomfort. His right shoulder being assisted by the doctor as he walks along the boundary line. The replay, it's hard to tell. He's got the long sleeves on, James Sicily, so it's hard to tell whether he's dislocated that shoulder. He's going down to the rooms as the kick goes up the wing. Williams can't take the mark. McGovern handballs over the top, and the Eagles have the ball.
As we welcome our listeners joining us from Victoria, Tasmania, and on the ABC AFL stream to Perth Stadium, it's been all the Hawks in this quarter. And just as I say that, the Eagles have got themselves a 50-metre penalty going the way of Jeremy McGovern, who was on the wing. Well, this will bring him up within striking distance. We'll send him inside forward 50. It was Hawthorn by 17 points at quarter time and the same at the break, but they've dominated this term so far. 9-9-63. West Coast haven't scored in this term. Jeremy McGovern will try to change that. He trots in from 45 metres out, slight angle to the right. He puts it through for the Eagles' first goal of this quarter. First goal of the season as well for Jeremy McGovern. The full-time All-Australian brings the margin back to 39 points. That comes at the 29-minute mark of the third quarter. So repeating, Hawthorn 9-9 to the Eagles 3-6. The goal kickers for the Hawks, Dylan Moore's got a couple. Jatt, Hardwick, Meek, McDonald, Ginnivan and Watson. While for West Coast, their goal kickers now, McGovern alongside Jones and Waterman. Both teams have made their subs. Matt Flynn out with injury. Ryan Marrick is on. Kal Shadir out with injury. Harry Morrison is on as well. There was a problem, a gash to the knee of Jake Waterman. He spent some time off the ground, the Eagles forward, but he's back out there at the moment. But it's all been about the Hawks until just then here on ABC Sport. Mitch Turner alongside Clint Wilden, our experts, Sharon Wellingham, and alongside him, Chris Waterman. Here's Mitch.
All back in the middle, taken away by the Hawks, and McKenzie kicks it inside the forward 50. Moore swoops on a loose ball, gives it back to Ginnivan, looking for Day, flying high, couldn't take the mark, hit the ground hard as the siren goes. Little Day getting to his feet. Jeremy McGovern, though, that was on the other end of the impacts, is a little slower to get to his feet. He's got medical staff around him and a couple of Eagles coming over to check on him. Three-quarter time siren has sounded.
That's a hugely courageous effort. I mean, you're 6 goals down, seconds to go in the third quarter. You don't have to go for that, but he does.
Will Day is a little...
You've got to go for your football.
Opened up, wasn't he?
Yeah,
just wide open.
Will Day is a little sore. He's with the Hawthorn huddle. He's just stopping and sucking in the big ones, and
he was kind of
sore as well. But McGovern
mid-torso, mid-torso, it was like ribs just banging into each other.
He's had that rib problem. Yeah, a couple of times now.
We'll keep you updated in just a moment. Akash Vodadar down on the boundary as well, and James Sicily, in good news, did return to the bench. For those who have just joined us, went off with a shoulder complaint just moments ago, but did return back to the bench. So Akash Vodadar will update us soon. Three-quarter time, though, here at Perth Stadium, 9-9-63, the Hawks, 3-6-24, the Eagles.
So 39 points, the Hawks lead. I'll go through those goal kickers again for you. 2 to Moore, and then singles Jatt, Hardwick, Meek, Chol, McDonald, Ginnivan and Watson. While for the Eagles, Waterman, McGovern and Jones. It's a quarter that was all about the Hawks, with 1 quarter to play in round 16 of AFL 2024. Wherever you're listening on ABC Radio, Sport Digital, streaming on the ABC Listen app, this is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport.
If you love country music, you'll love ABC Country.
You get a fast car.
It's Australia's home of country music. The music you grew up with.
You'll be the captain.
All the latest country hits.
I ain't proud of all the punches that I've thrown.
And emerging artists.
Because, baby, we've been apart.
24 hours commercial free. ABC Country. It's on your DAB Plus digital radio and the ABC Listen app.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Leaping up, Watson. Spoil came at the back from the Eagles. Slapped out by Cripps. It was a bit slack. Went straight to Newcomb. Got a hand pass away to Hardwick. Hands it off again. Now to McDonald, who snaps and goals. And punches the air in joy.
Jack, in the middle of the ground, delays the handball, gives now to Warple. The kick inside the forward 50 finds the lead of the forward turn defender turned forward in Blake Hardwick. Will go back, set shot 40 to 45 metres out, slight angle to the left. Blake Hardwick lining up the goal number 13 this season, and remarkably 15 to his career. Strikes the ball purely and beautifully from 45 and puts it straight over the goal umpire's hat. The Hawks go bang, bang. They kick 2 in a couple of minutes.
Now to Nash. He'll move it on towards right half forward. Gunston Marks plays on, takes a bounce from 60 out, sends it towards Moore, who marks just to the right and the top of the goal square. He should be able to step back and kick this easily enough for the Hawks. Dylan Moore looking for his second, puts it through for Hawthorn. And they have come out after half-time and taken complete control. Comes back to Sicily, kick into the middle of the ground. Nicely taken by Impey. Marks and plays on and sends it towards Joel, who marks. He wore one from Barris too. 8 disposals so far and 5 marks today for Joel, in for his first of the day. Slow, deliberate approach. He steers it through for another Hawthorn major.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
If you've just joined us, Carlton won earlier today over Richmond by 61 points. Port beat St Kilda by 2. 3-quarter time here in the West, and it's Hawthorn 9-9-63 to the Eagles 3-6-24. So the Hawks a quarter away from winning 5 games in a row for the first time since 2018. That was something to behold, that third term. Chris Waterman and Sharad Willingham on ABC Sport.
Just push replay from half time, what we said, but it's got worse actually. And they are now over 115 possessions difference is just huge. But everywhere else, we've just gone through it from the first 10 minutes of the game. 46-24 inside 50s. What a clearance there. Double, 29-14. And West Coast scored a goal, had their first scoring shot, 20 seconds to go. They dominated the quarter. West Coast look all at sea.
Look all at sea, and they're not working. Like, it just looks like they're not working defensively. They're not working to space when they do get the ball.
No.
I feel like Hawthorn are setting up really well. West Coast are almost holding too much length with their forwards, and they're getting caught kicking it and just going straight to Hawthorn, who are set up perfectly, and rebounding straight back at them. And they're being pretty clinical, aren't they? They're not doing too much wrong.
Very crisp with their ball movement. We mentioned before Sicily, just from the back half, his foot skills are dynamic, and they're just setting the play up from the back half if they're not winning the clearance, which they generally are anyway.
Newcomb just got the ball on a string today, 25 disposals, but the main damage, 10 clearances to Warple. Like, it's just they're getting no territory. Well, I'll say this: Hawthorn are getting all the territory because they're just winning the clearance, and it's putting them in a position, and they're turning it over when West Coast do manage to get their hands on it.
Back in the middle. No time for text. We'll get to you. 0437 774 774. After the end of this game, plenty of chances to talk to you then. Bounce to restart. One down by Meek of the Hawks. It comes to Reid. He gives Meek the don't argue and burns away from him. will kick the Eagles inside the right forward pocket. Great mark, Morrison. That is a good battle against Duggan. Morrison stabs it short, and he finds McKenzie. Cam McKenzie thinks about what's in front of him. Will kick towards the southern wing. 3-on-3 battle out there. Front position was Reed. And he's going to get a free kick here for having his arms chopped. Back after almost a month out, the 2-week suspension because of the bye as well. He's been a little bit down on his normal output. His first season today. Kick into the right forward pocket. Morrison had it. Hand pass was stolen by Chesser. He got a hand pass away to an Eagle who's immediately set upon. Impey wrapped him up, took him to ground. It's Yo. A little bit of push and shove after all of that. A cash voted downstairs.
Interesting, Will Day was out in the huddle at three-quarter time, but now he's gone down to the rooms with the medical staff.
From the restart, it's gone off hands and over for a boundary throw-in. We'll spin it in.
If that's the case, with Sicily's shoulder popped out, they've made a sub already, so they might be down to 1, maybe 2 on the bench.
We'll put back in. Down by Williams at the back. Pinballs around. Kelly picks it up. Hand pass straight to McKenzie though. Umpire off the ball has spotted a free kick going the way of Hawthorn. He'll come back here to be taken by Nash. He'll have it just inside his defensive 50. 9-9 Hawthorn, 3-6 the Eagles. It's all about the visitors. They lead by 39 points.
Nash short ball to Impey. Wasn't 15. Was called to play on. Goes further back to Weddle as the ball just beyond his goal face. So short to Hardwick. Now Morrison has the ball at right half back. The sub onto the ground in place of Cal Shadir. Cops a heavy blow to the torso in the third corner. Ball comes off hands on the wing, bounces into space. The first one there was Nash for the Hawks. Did well, met the ball solidly, tapped it on the Ginham, and his kick just popped up straight to McGovern. Now the Eagles have it through Chesser, working down the outer side of the ground, kicks up towards Cripps, has Weddle there for company. And the young Hawk just wins away, takes on the tackler though. Oh, bit off more than he could chew, was caught in the chest at tackle. The Eagles win the free kick. They take the advantage. Cripps kicks up the wing, now into the forward line. Flying from the back was Allen, couldn't mark. Jath able to gather at ground level, was able to use Warple, and now the Hawks release through Impey, and Moore has the ball on the wing with space.
Moore, beautiful kick. And Simon measured it perfectly to Newcomb. Newcomb does the same, popping it over the top to Gunston in space at right half forward, sends it towards goal. Chol goes up, Barris against him. Ball goes to the ground. Umpire gives the free kick to Chol. Front on contact against the Eagles defender.
You kind of get it, but I thought Tom did a really good effort. Made a great effort then.
Well, it was a pretty fair contest.
Yeah.
It was just the left arm. The right arm was the spoil. It was perfect. The left arm made contact with Chol on the way through.
50 for telling him to watch the replay?
Yeah. So Chol's been brought to the top of the goal square. Doesn't make a great deal of difference from the distance, but he is now right in front. He'll just trot in, and he'll put it up into about the third level. Mabior Chol's got a couple now. And Hawthorn, they've now got 10. 10-9, 69 the Hawks. The Eagles 3-6-24. 4 gone in the last. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. A cash voted downstairs before we hear from Sharad Willingham and Chris Waterman.
Yeah, Will Day's back on the field heading straight into this next set of bounce, and James Sicily's been up and about on his feet as well. It's still unclear whether he's going to actually return to the field.
You wouldn't have thought so, and they don't need him, but I still, that's
a fair contest. You want to see that in our game.
It may have been as clean to that left hand, that the right arm got a fist to the ball cleanly, and his eyes were on the ball, but his left hand came down and whacked the body, and you just, as you know, you just pretty much can't touch the body when you go back with the flight. And you certainly can't tell the umpire to look at the replay, because nothing triggers them more as Reed tried to burst out of the middle of the Eagles. He was gang tackled by a bunch of Hawks. He's been pinged holding the ball. There's a little bit of push and shove at the bottom as Newcomb is the recipient of the free kick. We can tell you two to look at the replay, Chris and Sharad. That's different, but You can't tell the umpires. It's Newcomb. Plays on from the free kick. Kicks it up inside the 50. Gunston went up, held it for a long time. The umpire almost looked to blow the whistle for the mark. In the end, didn't. It fell the way of the Eagles. Kicked back up towards the attacking side of the centre square. Reid couldn't take it. Darling could. Gave it back to Brockman. His short kick inside finds Duggan. Wheels back onto his left foot. Has his co-captain all alone in the forward pocket. And Allen stood there, was able to receive and take the uncontested mark. So the two co-captains linking up. Oscar Allen has had just 3 disposals today in his second game back. This is his first chance at goal.
Well, it's the second or third time they've got through the midfield with a bit of speed on the ball. That's it for the day.
This is the Eagles' first mark inside the forward 50. The Hawks have 16. We're right behind the kick of Oscar Allen. Measured approach. Good-looking kick off the boot. Starting right, swinging back left. Not enough, though, for the Eagles. A minor score. The Eagles 3-7-25. The Hawks 10-9-69. 44-point margin. We've played 6.5 minutes in the final term here at Perth Stadium. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
And just their second scoring shot since the 25-minute mark of the second term for West Coast. Balls towards left half back for the Hawks. Comes down to McDonald today. Worked it again to Meek. Back to McDonald. Moves it forward. Warple marks and then looks to play on. Wheels around. Sends it in the direction of Joel. Surely infringed. Got taken high. They'll take the advantage. Moore swept the hand pass over the top. Gunston strolls into an open goal square and slams it through for Hawthorn's 11th. 11-9-75. They've got a lead of 50 points over the Eagles. 3-7-25, 7 gone in the last.
He's grabbed.
There's not much, but McGovern's arm has come over the left shoulder, and that's what the umpire spotted, so he's called the free. There, just right there.
Yeah.
It's a free kick. Eagles fans won't like it, but it's a free kick.
He's caused some problems today, Joel.
He has. Most of them have.
Stating the obvious, I am here.
Our experts here, Sharad Willingham, Chris Waterman, alongside them, this man, Mitch Turner.
Ball back in the middle, Day. Back into the thick of it for the Hawks, trying to give the handball off to Warple. Went without it, ends up back with Newcomb. He finds Meek. Clever lobbed handball over the top into the middle of the ground. Day was able to get it to McDonald, had to turn around, do a little 360. Now Day has to get fancy with his footwork. He's run down from behind in a strong tackle by Duggan. Umpire said play on, said he got boots of ball, and the Hawks end up with it. Gunston on the lead, takes the mark right on the paint at left half forward. It looked for all money that Will Day had been run down from behind holding the ball, but what had happened was he'd clearly got a little toe to it as the ball goes now inside 50, and Nick Watson takes the mark in the pocket from the Gunston pass.
He attempted to dispose of it.
I missed the replay following the play. Did it touch his boot, Sharad?
Doesn't have to. Just has to attempt.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, he had prior though, so he does need it, I believe, doesn't he?
So
he held it for a long time.
Just have to attempt to dispose of the footy.
Margets on a Monday on extra time in the West. Watson has the set shot, runs around, snaps around his body. It's a minor score. Inaccuracy continuing to plague the talented young Hawk. 11-10-76 now Hawthorn. 3-7-25. The Eagles a 51-point margin.
Or indeed around the country, 9 o'clock East Coast time.
Sport Digital. Extra time. Dean Margetts, former umpire, on a Monday with yourself, Clinton Shaz, explaining all these things to us.
When we say, what was that, Dean? As Hoff kicks towards the outer side of the ground.
I learned how wide the goals are.
Yeah, we did.
Last week. 6.4 metres.
Frost knocked the ball away from Waterman and over for a boundary line throw in at right half forward. There's the official crowd. 49-4-5-4. And impressive figures for a side that's won just the 3 games this year and haven't won many more in the last couple of seasons, as Warple brings the ball away from the restart. McDonald breaks the tackle, kicks straight up the middle of the ground. He wants Chol at full forward. He brought it to ground. Chol didn't pick it up. Gunston does. Hand passes to Chol. Breaks the Rotham tackle. Snaps around the body. It's hit Ginnivan. He couldn't mark, but he could regather and then go into an open goal and kick another major for Hawthorn. He tells the crowd to shush, and a broad grin breaks out in front of him. He's got a second. Hawthorn 12-10-82. The Hawks 3-7-25. 11 gone in the last. And even when things don't look like they're going the Hawks' way, they indeed do. Once more. That's remarkable. It's just spilled for him to be able to gather.
He probably deserved the hands from Chol in the
did.
first place as he was running past.
True. So Moore's got 2 now, Chol's got a couple, Ginnivan's got a couple.
49,454 the crowd. A lot of Eagles fans coming here today thought with this side in and the strength they thought they had that they were a genuine chance of toppling the Hawks. And Hawthorn have come over and said, no way. They are in terrific form. They have the ball again from the restart, working off half-back. McKenzie. Handballs over the top to Impey. Kick over the top, gets the contact late between a couple of players trying to effect a smother behind play. Ryan and Rotham, I believe it was. Friendly fire. Sharrod is...
Friendly fire.
Both players get to their feet. The Hawks go back inside the 50. Barris, big punch from behind. Fell to Watson. He coughed it up. Jimby was able to get it. It's a hunt for the Eagles. Kick beyond defensive 50. Allen waiting for the ball. Takes it graciously. The ball kicked up towards Waterman. Did well to keep his feet. Frost went to ground. Waterman recovered. Got the handball. Had one to a teammate and Chester shared it. Got back. Now Waterman's kick just beyond half forward to Ryan. The kick into the pocket finds Allen leading back. Takes the mark. Hard up against the boundary line. Right forward pocket about 25 to 30 metres out. Still looking for that first major. The Eagles co-captain today. No goals between Oscar Allen and Jack Darling. Jake Waterman has 1. So the 3 tall targets for the Eagles. A little bit of a quiet day. Allen from the set shot goes the check side. It's narrow and he misses again. So 0-3, I think that makes it for Oscar Allen. 3-8-26 the Eagles, 12-10-82 the Hawks, 13 played, the margin 56 points. Final game, AFL round 16 action.
Now, I'm not sure what Ruth would say. I'm not sure if I'm being pro or negative to West Coast here, but at the moment, their score is still on the podium for their lowest scores of all time. It's the equal third lowest score. And they've made such hard work at actually getting opportunities, West Coast. Just 26 points on the board. Kick us to the outer side. The southern wing, where Yo picks it up off the ground, punching it away. It's Hardwick. Darling gathers, gives it to Chesser, spins away from trouble. Here's Ryan, the arms free. Hardwick got him. Managed to get the ball out though to Chesser, and he's immediately tackled up against the boundary line. Well done. Wrapped up then by McKenzie. Hardwick climbs up off the deck, a little worse for wear, and then goes forward once more for Hawthorn. It's at right half forward for the West Coast Eagles. Spun back in. Marrick will do the ruck work against Nash. Nash palms it down, got it to McKenzie, punched forward by Warple. Marrick went up, gathered it, got tackled, had to quickly get a hand pass away, knocked forward by Warple. McDonald couldn't gather, Warple could, up against Yo, who stayed down. The Hawks move it towards left half forward. Watson gathers, sweeping a hand pass forward as Moore to Chol. He gets away from Hoff, gets a kick into the left forward pocket. He wanted Day! Had a fair bit of it, wasn't paid the mark. He comes back through Cole for the Eagles, and then to Barris, to Rotham beyond defensive 50. Ball's allowed to bounce. Yo picks it up. Got a hand pass forward, but straight into the path of Scrimshaw. Hands it back to D'Ambrosio for the Hawks. Now to McKenzie. Handing it forward again to Moore. He's at left half forward. Stabs the pass inside forward. 50 mark there to McDonald. 40 out from goal. He'll start in line with the left hand behind post.
Just stopped even trying to defend, haven't they?
Well, Jeremy McGovern looks like he's done something to his hand. I was about to say the last thing they need is more injuries in this last 9 minutes when they've been completely dominated and just completely soured the day.
As if it's not bad enough. It's almost like his hand got caught underneath McDonald in the marking contest. McDonald is looking for his second. He comes in and strikes it truly. It's a rout now. The Hawks fans, they're enjoying every moment of it. Hawthorn's lead is 62 points, 13-10-88 to the Eagles, 3-8-26. And we heard from Adam Simpson a little bit earlier this year when they got smacked by Adelaide by 99 points in Adelaide that he thought these sorts of losses had finished. This is a home game and they're staring down the barrel of another one just like it. Sharad Wellingham and Chris Waterman on ABC Sport.
Feels like a pretty big regression, doesn't it? From the standard and, I suppose, expectations that the public now has of West Coast. It's definitely a couple of steps backward.
As you said, Clinton, if they can't score from here, the Eagles, their third lowest score ever. Their lowest score since they met the Hawks at York Park last year. And they also scored a total of 26 points. The kick goes inside 50. Gunston for the Hawks. Gathers on the boundary. Gets cute. Finds a little gap. Kicks it inside to McKenzie, who takes the mark under pressure. And will go back for another shot in what is just becoming a procession for the Hawks. 4-2-26 they kicked the Eagles that day. Today it's 3-8-26. The Hawks winning by massive margin, 116 points on that day. It won't be quite that big today, but McKenzie has the chance right now to extend the margin out to beyond 11 goals. Comes in, slight angle to the left, 35 metres out, liked it immediately off the boot. It is well and truly party time for the Hawks out in the west. They've shattered any hopes the Eagles had of returning to the winners list so far. The lead is out to 68 points. It's 14-10-94 Hawthorn, 3-8-26 West Coast. And they've kicked 5 goals to none in this final term. The cash voted are downstairs.
Jeremy McGovern's come to the bench. He's having that left hand looked at. He's also got some blood coming from his knee. And just looking around the crowd as well, actually, you can see, well, thousands of West Coast supporters making for the exits.
Well, it has been pretty viewing today, Sharon. It has not got any better.
Yeah, not the best Sunday afternoon for West Coast supporters.
No, it's been insipid, Sharad. Hasn't been the best. It has been insipid, this performance from the Eagles. As Reid looks to take it away. Got it out again towards Kelly and then to Jones and moves it to Witherden. Running behind him, Jones. And Jones will look to flare it out towards Hunt, who marks on the logo, commentary wing. And kick it short to Cripps. Cripps turns. Puts it inside forward 50. Ball bounces past Waterman. Scrimshaw's there to mop up for the Eagles. Hands it past, or for the Hawks, to Ambrosio. Then taking a bounce, Scrimshaw gathers it again. Kicks towards the logo. Day has to wait. It bounces into the path of Witherden, who then gets taken high by Day, and he'll get the free kick. Comes back into the middle of the ground. This is Jones. Out to Hunt. Hunt will kick into the left forward pocket. He wants Williams, who's out to mark. 45-degree angle to the left. He'll put Boots a ball from just inside forward 50.
Good link-up play, but they nearly butchered it with a couple of those kicks, but in one way, out the other. Can we see a conversion from the ruck forward?
Bailey Williams. Boots cross the 50. It starts out right. It's swinging back, but not enough. Another minor score. At least they won't be in the worst 3 scores of their history, West Coast. 3-9-27 now, 14-10-94 the Hawks. Time on into the last.
Morrison down the wing finds Hardwick. The Hawks have been really open in their discussions in the media and the public forum that they aim to kick 100 points every week. They're currently 14-10-94 and they are still going with urgency. This game is well and truly, it's been over for a long time. So they move the ball up the wing. D'Ambrosio's kick was smothered. Coming through was Cole for the Eagles. Tackled immediately by the Hawk there. In McDonald it was. Ball up between wing and half forward for the Hawks. Ball tapped down by Meek out into the path of a Hawk in Moore. Gives it to Day. Retreats to Newcomb. Cheeky little kick inside to D'Ambrosio. Has a bit of time to turn and deliver inside the forward 50. At the back with it and did well. Cut across for the Eagles. Took the intercept mark. And they repel at least one foray forward. That's that 56 inside 50s to 31 the way of the Hawks. 20 marks in their attacking 50. The Eagles just 3. All coming in this quarter when the game is well and truly over. And Duggan has the ball at left half back.
Duggan kicks down the commentary wing. Darling up from the side against Impey. Spills down to Eamon. Back to Impey. Knocked it back to Newcomb. Rode the tackle. Jones, but then turned it over. Reed to Liam Ryan, who'll kick inside forward 50. He spots Williams, who turns, steadies and goes. Something for the 25,000 who stuck around to celebrate. The Eagles with their first goal of the final term. It's only about the margin and pride now. Hawthorn's lead cut to 61 points, 14-10-94 to the Eagles, 4-9-33.
Too little, too late. Clint and Sippard is definitely the way to describe them today. I'm not surprised by Hawthorn. This is what I kind of expected from Hawthorn. They're a side that I obviously haven't seen in person, but when you're watching them on TV, they look impressive. They look like they're playing a really cool, good brand of footy. Look like they're enjoying their football, as you do when you're winning. But it's great to see it all happen in person.
Lots of Collingwood Premiership player and former Eagles Sharad Wellingham. The margin here at Perth Stadium is 61 points. As the Hawks go forward again, can they break the 100 mark? This time the kick inside 50 from the Hawks favoured Barris. He took the intercept mark. Duggan went back with courage. Took the ball in the centre square. Kicks out wide for Marrick. Kick doesn't get to him. He meets him on the half volley and beats him straight through the gate. Rolls out of bounds for a boundary throw in.
And it rains at pause in footy.
It's a 10-goal margin. The Hawks have been impressive in this second half, and to be honest, the game should have been over at half-time had they have capitalised, but they've put the foot down in the third and fourth quarters. Duggan takes the ball from the restart, kicks it up towards the top of the square, standing tall as Weddle. Takes intercept mark and takes off immediately. Takes a couple of bounces. Ryan was pursuing him, had the handball forward to Impey, then now to Amon. Newcomb, the next recipient in the chain. Tossed it further afield to McDonald. Now Morrison kicks towards half forward, and the lead of Moore, fully outstretched, takes the mark opposed to Cole.
2 kicks from goal, Moore. Hard up against the boundary. 60 out. Kicking to the city end. He'll load up. He'll want to give it everything. Scholl will attack the football. Barris was able to get a fist to it. Spilled down out to the side. Rotham bounced in to Ginnivan. It came back to Ginby. He kicked around the body and was able to find Kelly for West Coast. Gets told to play on. Moves it quickly by hand to Cripps. Hand pass releases Jones. He still goes. Got past Warple. Ran straight into Morrison. Got a hand pass out though inside. Was able to shovel it forward with it and tackled by Hardwick. Ball up on the logo commentary wing. Ginnivan is limping a little bit after that contest a moment ago when he got, or attempted to tackle Rotham. Got knocked over in it.
That contest was 3v5. That was 3v6 almost at that at that clearance.
Thought I was seeing things when I was watching that.
Hawks have ended up with it.
Look at the numbers.
Have they got more on the ground or something?
No, they just want it more and they're running harder. That's Warple who gets the free and moves it out towards Moore, which has been the whole issue with West Coast from about, probably early stages of the first quarter. Yeah. Kicks inside forward 50 for the Hawks. They wanted Watson. He couldn't get there. Came out to Hunt at the back. Rotham slipped over. Has to slap it back in the direction of Hunt. He can't get to his feet. Ball's still there to be won. It came at the side of the boot of Rotham and then rolls across the boundary line for a throw-in.
As I was saying, listening to Will Day a few weeks ago, he said they actively, even though the game is over here, they set a target. We kick 100 points, we'll win more games than we lose. And you can still see them hunting the Hawks. They're within a kick of scoring the ton.
They are working tirelessly.
From the restart, Watson came through the pack, was solidly, ball ricocheted off him and rolled beyond Joel out of bounds for another boundary throw-in.
This ball is stuck in his pocket because of the handball from Hunt, who completely, or one of the boys to a free player, completely missed him from 5 metres away. Poor at this level.
Ball spun back in, Meek in front of Williams, tapped it down, Duggan went without it for the Eagles. Players diving in again. Minutes ticking down slowly here in the fourth term. Sam Mitchell down on the bench for the Hawks. Excited to pick up win number 8.
Like molasses.
The ball comes down to Hunt. He's met in a tackle. Yo did well to get the clearing kick beyond defensive 50 for the Eagles. In front, though, was Scrimshaw. Knocked it down to D'Ambrosio. Back to Scrimshaw. Just stops, props, kicks on the left. Looking for McDonald. Has to take it on the bounce. Tries to step around Cole. Kick was smothered. Newcomb then tries to shake the tackle of Cole. It's a good tackle. The umpire says it slipped high. So it
rains at pause.
It was a genuine 1v1 Cole v Newcomb, and the left arm, just for a moment, the hand of Cole just slipped.
Yeah, I'm dead against that. He's put the forearm up and tried to take him on. That's holding the ball.
It was stiff.
That's why the rule was brought in.
And it was salt in the wounds for the Eagles as the Hawks go forward. Nash has it. 60 from home. Thought about the short pass. Was called to play on. Kicks long, and Barris, standing in the hole, takes the defensive intercept mark.
Hawks still shy of their target of 100. 94 at the moment. The Eagles 49-33 as Ryan has it at right half back and moves it to Hoff. Back to Ryan. Kicks the Eagles in the direction of Reed, who marks in front of Morrison in the centre square, a little bit shy of halfway. He'll kick towards right half forward. Allen stretch. Couldn't mark. Brought it down. There to gather, though. Was Eamon, and he gave it back to Scrimshaw. Now to Morrison, who marks in the centre square. In space, just shy of the logo centre wing is Moore, and he receives the football. He'll mark and play on, moving it quickly forward again. This is McDonald off a step. Not a great kick. Goes past Ginnivan. Coming the other way was Barris, who had his shirt tugged as he got past Ginnivan. He knew he'd given away the free kick to the Hawk. The Collingwood Premiership player. Barris decides to control the footy by going back inside his defensive 50. He shares it around with Witherden, then back to Barris, who has it at left half back.
Seconds ticking down here. Final stages of this fourth term. It's been a dominant display from the Hawks. Not let the Eagles fire a shot all day. The players chip the ball around as the seconds continue to click. Yo takes the mark. The siren sounds. The Hawks come out to the west, and they prove they are the kings of the big game out here. They take down the Eagles. They win 5 in a row for the first time since 2018. They smash the Eagles by 61 points.
With a grin that Hawthorn, come what may, you'll find us striving. Teamwork is the thing that goes. One for all and all for one, the way we play it goes. We are the mighty, mighty Hawks.
An impressive display from the Hawks in the West. They led by 17 points at quarter time, by 17 at the half. They were away to a 39-point lead at three-quarter time and went on to win by 61. The Hawks 14-10-94. The Eagles, a performance that they would just be embarrassed by. 4-9-33. The Hawks, they win 5 straights.
We're a happy every team at Hawthorn. We're the mighty fighting Hawks. We love our club and we play to win. Riding the bumps with a grin at Hawthorn. Come what may, you'll find us striving. Teamwork is the thing that talks. One for all and all for one, the way we play at Hawthorn. We are the mighty fighting Hawks.
5 straight. 7 from 8. Hawthorn is showing how a rebuild is done under coach Sam Mitchell in his 3rd season. While West Coast, their supporters, heads down. Those that are already, well, there was plenty of them that had gone before, but those who are still here, Eagles fans staring at the floor as they trudge their way out of Perth Stadium. That's another embarrassing loss for West Coast. And the high hopes after that win over Melbourne back in round 10. They had good results against Essendon as well. And those wins against Fremantle and Richmond, well, they've all just dissipated. Real concerns too for Matt Flynn, who's downstairs on crutches. The Eagles could do without any more injuries. And they could do without any more beltings like that. A 10-goal loss, 61 points to the Hawks. The goal kickers, Moore's got to, Scholl with a couple, McDonald with a couple, so too Ginnivan, and singles to Jaff, to Hardwick, to Meek, to Gunston, to McKenzie and to Watson. 10 different goal kickers for Hawthorn today. West Coast finished with 4, Williams, Jones, McGovern and Waterman. It was only really a question of time from about midway through the first quarter. Hawthorn should have been in front by so much more, even at quarter time, to be honest. Hawks went on and got the job done and did it convincingly in WA in front of 49,454 Eagles fans. Honestly, must now be starting to wonder, when will this turn? Big contingent of Hawks fans, and there's plenty of them in the West. They're sticking around to celebrate with their team. Not much those for blue and gold to get excited about. Sharad Willingham and Chris Waterman. Let's get your thoughts here on ABC Sport.
Just another great step for Hawthorn. Just, they're really playing a brand of footy that's pretty impressive. Some definite Sammy Mitchellness about it, though, isn't there, the way they're playing? I'm really enjoying it. Having seen it first time in person today, it was good. From West Coast point of view, yeah, utterly disappointing. Feel sorry for the boys who you felt were taking steps forward in the way they wanted to play and what their expectations on themselves were and the standard that they now, I suppose, demanded of each other and expected of each other. That just went out the window today. That was, as you said, it was an insipid performance.
Just quickly before the Hawks go down to the rooms to celebrate, a nice moment of sorts, I guess, under the circumstances. Elliot Yeo coming together with former assistant coach of the Eagles now at Hawthorn, Adrian Hickmott, as well as head coach Sam Mitchell, who shared an embrace, and quite a long embrace, between Elliot Yeo and Sam Mitchell. Of course, Sam Mitchell, a teammate, and then the midfield coach during that 2018 premiership that featured Elliot Yeo, and after the passing of his father Craig earlier this week. Just a nice moment for the Hawks staff there to come over and just pay some respect and support for Elliot Yeo, who had a bit of a tough day today, but it was a credit to himself and to his family and the memory of his dad that he got out there and had a crack today. Also nice to see Jack Gunston, who came over and did the same, who of course lost his father Ray a few years ago during season, which he was quite public about and has spoken about. So a few nice moments there supporting Elliot Yeo in a tough day.
Adrian Hickmott's one of the best assistant coaches I had. Loved him.
People didn't like him when he was first at the club.
Really?
He was hard, and then they got to realise that he's actually great.
Oh, he was great. He was great. Yeah, the expectation and I suppose standard that they expect of each other just went out the window, didn't it?
Yeah, dude. We did discuss before that it's not just going to happen because it looks like their best team on paper. They haven't played a lot of footy together, but I don't know whether that's a mulligan or how you look at it, but Chesser, Jimby, just not impactful around the midfield. They don't look like getting involved. It's probably easy to just go picking players now. They were just pouring all over the place. The stats say it all: 150, nearly 160 more possessions. I don't know if that's a world record.
Yeah, it's
wouldn't be
there.
far off it. Double the clearances, 38-19, 60-33 inside 50s.
21 marks inside 50 to 4.
And we're going to give some votes out. I dare say they're all going to go to the defenders, who were pretty brave. But we're going to give best players for Hawthorn. It's fair to say they're going to be in the midfield.
Yeah.
And that there's the picture of the game. They dominated in the midfield. Like
How
nothing
do
else.
they not make any changes to that, though? Are they not... do they not bat deep enough through the midfield that they can get a different look?
I think now they're at the stage where you've got to look at a Chesser who's not getting enough of the ball. Do we just say, let's give him a block in the waffle now?
To have a go at midfield time?
Yes. You've got to remember when he came over, he got injured straight away, but he played 3 or 4 games in 2 years. So he's only a really young footballer. But I was just looking at the waffle team stats. There's plenty of guys there. They had pretty good games. They only lost by 20 points. But there's guys in there getting lots of the ball. So do we start Jack Williams kicked 4 goals. So do we look at just take the pressure off him, just put him back on the waffle for 2 or 3 weeks and get the footy,
Yeah. He's been in pretty much all year without too much.
But is Ruben too tired trying to play through the midfield? I think I've always said he's halfback flanker. It's just I don't think the midfield game comes natural to him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just say you drop out and have a spell, bring someone else? I don't know. It just needs.
Who comes up though? That's like, is there enough depth there to call on to come up into the midfield?
I don't know.
But I mean, in game, do they have enough versatility in players? I don't think that they've got trust that they can throw Chesser in there to change the look up of the midfield.
Carly's had 20, Edwards 16, so Zane True's had 33. You just give him a full go and not sub him in, and Gaffey's had 30. Clay Hall's had 23 again. Do you look at we're not going for finals now, do you just blood him now and get some games into him? And Chester's not a bad player, but he's just not getting enough of it. Do you just say, look, let's give you a month back and try and get you 20 to 30 plus, build confidence, build your game,
get in the habit of collecting footy,
getting the footy in your hands, chasing it, hunting it, and you've got to get Clay Hall in for a game or 2 this year. You've got to get Zane True and give him a run. Starting on the ground, what do you got to lose? You got to find out now. I mean, you don't want to get to the end of the year and say, well, we're going to chop him. We had a chance to play him. So,
but how do they get dismantled that much through that midfield? I mean, they would have gone in pretty confident. I mean, you've got Flynn as a legitimate ruckman who they haven't been able to have most of the year. They got Yo, Kelly, Harley, Reid.
Which
just weren't able to do anything.
Well done to the Hawks.
It was incredible.
Talk to them in just a moment.
But how do they dismantle them to the point where they had no answer?
That's the great question. They were awful, West Coast. Let's go down into the victorious rooms. They are a happy team at Hawthorn. 5 straight wins for the first time since 2018. Akash Bodadars down in the Hawks rooms. Akash.
Thanks, Clint. As you mentioned, they are a very happy team. 5 wins in a row and coming over to the West and defeating West Coast by 61 points. So slowly making their way in. There are plenty of big smiles as you expect. Sam Mitchell congratulating a few of his charges as they just get ready, get in the circle. Might be old Chol asking us all to be quiet. So maybe they're going to surprise us with a big bang with this song. Here we go. Coach in the song there as well, so we should have a Hawthorn player join us very shortly.
Thanks, Akash. Back to you as soon as we hear down in the rooms. So alongside the Blues, in regards to current winning streaks, the Hawks and Carlton, the two sides, 5 straight. Now that Sydney's 10-game winning streak finished yesterday. Hawthorn move, well, they don't actually move anywhere because of how tight the ladder is. They've stayed in 13th spot, but now with their 8th win of the season and remain within striking distance of the 8. So Brisbane will finish the weekend in 8th spot with 34 points. It's percentage that has them there, 121 their percent. The Hawks percentage 97.9. They're in 13th. You've got the Bulldogs, the Giants, the Suns, Melbourne and the Hawks all on 32 points, just separated by their percentage. So Sam Mitchell goes and takes over and has had nothing other than pretty much a slow build of success, and we're starting to see it come to fruition. Let's head back down into the Hawks rooms. Akash.
Dylan Moore with me. Dylan, as Germany agrees with us. Dylan, well played. Great work through the midfield where you really dismantled them. Just talk us through how you went about getting that victory.
Yeah, we said that we don't know how we go after the bye. There's a lot of unknown with another week away from football, and our training wasn't that good throughout the week, and we aren't sure how we're going to go today. Box Hill lost yesterday, so there's a lot of pressure on us from Sam early on in the game just to bring the heat. We said that if we just bring the heat, bring the pressure, especially for the first 20 minutes, then we'll settle into the game and then we'll find ourselves. And we found ourselves actually dominating the first 20 of the minutes. We just couldn't score. So we knew that our process was right, and then throughout the game we just knew that if we just kept bringing the heat, then eventually the scoreboard would take after itself.
You mentioned training during the week there, so you just felt a little bit off coming back to training after the bye?
Our pressure wasn't good enough and we didn't bring the heat at training, and usually we train really well, so we had a little talking to after training. It was just like, we better not produce this on Saturday and Sunday, and luckily we didn't.
Talk to me a bit more also about your role, I guess, as a goal-kicking midfielder. How important is it for the guys, midfield, half forward, to really hit the scoreboard?
Yeah, it's big for us. We've been speaking a lot throughout the pre-season as a forward line. We need all 6 players kicking goals every week, and for us high forwards, probably in the past we haven't been able to hit the scoreboard as much, so the likes of Connor McDonald, Jack Ginnivan, myself are now able to get high up the ground but then be dangerous enough inside 50 to still score goals. So we play a really important role in the side just to be the links between the mids and the forwards, but then also hit the scoreboard. So it's nice to see all of us kick a couple today.
Great. I'll send it upstairs to our team. Clint Wheeldon, Chris Waterman, Sharad Wellingham, Mitch Turner.
Dylan, great game, mate. Congrats on the win. It's Sharad here. Mate, early on it looked like you really tried to get some pace on the ball. Handball receives were up, trying to get that run and carry from the back half. But then you're able to, I suppose, flick it into a bit of control as well. But are you really confident in having a diverse avenue to goal and way you can move the ball?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we pride ourselves on, is we can score multiple ways. So early on, we're trying to bring heat into the game and handball receives, but we couldn't quite finish there. Defenders played really well in the first half and kept taking intercept marks, so that wasn't working. So we knew that we could change our game style a little bit, be a bit more patient in our build-up, and then that worked better in the second half.
And also, it looked like there was a little bit of feeling out there, a bit of back and forth between the players. The scoreboard didn't really reflect a close game, but did it feel like there was a bit of meat on the bone out there, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Footballers, we love to be competitive, and when a few things don't go your way or things are going your way, you can get a bit chirpy. So it was all good faith back and forth today, but we love coming up against the Eagles. We see a few of them in the off season, and they're good fellas, so anytime we get to play these guys, there's always a bit of chirp.
Love it.
G'day, Dylan. Chris Waterman here. Your own game personally with Jack and coming to the team along with young Watson, your own game's gone into the midfield a lot more, a high percentage. I mean, you're just short of 30 today. Is that what you were hoping for at the start of the year?
I wasn't too sure, to be honest. I knew with bringing in Guinea, Watson... Oh, the lights have gone off.
Yeah, they turned the lights off on us down here. Might be for the TV crew.
And then bringing in Chol and Jack Gunston back in the side, I knew that I wasn't needed as close to goal anymore, so I was able to get up into the midfield a bit more. But yeah, I've really, really enjoyed all those guys coming into our side because I've been able to play a bit more free with my game. So it's awesome playing a bit of mid, bit of forward. I can change it up, and if I'm not going so well, I can head into the midfield. If I'm feeling dangerous, I can stay forward, so it's great.
You feel like finals is within reach? I mean, you're 2 points out of the year 8. I mean, there's 6 teams on the same amount of points, but is finals within reach? Is that what you set out to do?
Yeah, look, we're a very ambitious team, so We want to be playing finals football. It's great that this second half of the year, every game matters. And I think Will Day said it during the week. We've never been under this pressure. I think Sis said it as well. It was every game from here on out matters, and we haven't been in that position since 2018. So our ambitions are to play finals footy for sure.
So, Dylan, what changed from round 5 when there was such there was such concern about where the Hawks were at when you got belted by the Gold Coast, and you had the good win against North? Understandably, what happens in Sydney can sometimes happen in Sydney, but from that point in time, it's been a remarkable effort from Hawthorn. You've been entertaining to watch, everyone's been up and about, and you've been getting the wins. What clicked?
Yeah, I wish there was like a magic potion and I could just tell you the exact thing, but you guys know football. It's you put in hard work and sometimes there's a lag effect to things, and this season that's exactly what's happened. We felt like we were clicking in pre-season. We knew new guys coming in the side. We might change a bit, we might not gel, but then after probably round 6 it felt like we just know what each other is going to do on the ground, and that's the best thing about when you play good football. It's your predictable football to one another, and that's what we've been able to do over the past 8 weeks.
Completely random question, but there's a bit going on with the haircuts from the Hawks side.
Crackers, eh?
Yeah, there's an awful lot of mullets. And what on earth is Connor McDonald thinking? Like, honestly, what's happening with that?
I've got no comment on that. I'll let him be. But yeah, I reckon in a couple of years he'll be regretting that decision.
I think he might be. It's sort of like the 80s have come back with that sort of a hairstyle. It's been a remarkable effort. Can you just give us an insight into Sam Mitchell and how he's been in the last couple of weeks? He's someone who knows how to perform when there is pressure on. So does he talk to you about that? You've said that as a group it's the first time you've been under these sort of circumstances.
Yeah, he has. We've been able to lean on Sam and then Jack Gunston, Luke Bruce, who have all played three flags at least. And to be able to have them at the club just really guiding us through this, and us younger guys not getting too carried away with 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins. They've been able to keep us really balanced. But I feel like the best thing that they've done is just you be you. You walk into the club every day and enjoy yourself, because when you're happy at your environment at the football club, then you're going to play better footy. So they've actually been really good just to tell us just to be yourselves and train hard and then play hard on the weekend, and then hopefully we get the results.
Outstanding, Dylan. Really enjoyed your performance today for the whole club, and good to see the Hawks back up and about. Thanks for chatting to us.
Appreciate it, lads. Have a good one.
They should be a very happy team at Hawthorn after that performance today. Didn't get the 100 points, as we heard Mitch talking about, but won everything else that mattered, dominated with all the stats.
Clint, I love that they have the confidence to say, yeah, we want to play finals. You know, a lot of players and teams go, yeah, we're just going to focus on this week. It's just 1 week at a time. I like it. Come out and say our expectations and our desire is to get back playing finals. It's good. I like it. I like the attitude. Well, not just the attitude, but the willingness to externalise that.
You and I were coached by the same bloke who wouldn't allow anyone to speak outside or walk off the line. Just play the party line, Mick used to say. Yeah. Don't give them anything to hang their hat on. But different era, different people. Just what we want to do. Yeah, we want to play finals. That's what we're aiming at. So you just come out and say it. I like it. No one uses it against you now like we did in the old days.
As he said it, I was like, oh, it feels like it's going to be on a front page.
Where's Mick?
How would Mick have gone with the likes of Watson and Ginnivan?
He would have liked him. He would have liked him, yeah. I mean, you talk about what we saw last week with Swanee.
Yeah.
Swanee was a rogue. Mick loved him.
Yeah.
Sort of loved those blokes that would live a little bit on the edge at times, but when he needed to put their hand up, big time footy, he loved those blokes. Just absolutely loved them. Maney was the same.
So from celebrating Hawthorn, as we should, they were terrific. The point that I was making about them, look, so 2022, Sam Mitchell gets there, takes over. They finish 13th, they have 8 wins. They drop a little bit last year, but still get 7 wins. And then at the start of this year, they're 0-5, and people are wondering, well, where are the Hawks going? They've just picked up their 8th win of the season. As we said, they're just outside the top 8. Whereas West Coast, 22 win 2 games, 23 win 3, 24 so far. They've got 3 games, and they've now, in the last couple of weeks, that performance against Adelaide and then another one of those performances where they just do not show up against Hawthorn. I'm wondering if you're a West Coast supporter, and do let us know. If I'm wrong, I'm very happy to hear from you. 0437 774 774. When do you get sick of efforts like that? Because there were reasons for a couple of years, and I'm prepared to absolutely say their injury list was the worst I've ever seen. But they're now no worse off than anyone else. They've got players in. They've got still a number of experienced premiership players. They've got all Australians. They've got the best young kid we've seen in many a year, and they put on that.
They're even getting flogged with the two guys who are out doing their post-match running. Hawthorn runners still beating up on the efforts from Marich out there.
Dom Sheed's out
This is
injured.
an example.
Bazzo's out injured.
So they've got five players out. Petruccelli, Sheed, Long, Hewitt, Bazzo, who I would think they would be in that group. But that's no worse.
Effort.
That's no worse off than a lot of other teams.
I'm just saying that they're very uninjured as a squad now.
Yeah.
Like young fellas on his way back in. Petch is they might be only a week or two. So, yeah, there's no real excuses on this one. That was just poor effort. And
they looked disinterested. They weren't trying. So many heads down. Like, Cripper looked a little bit frustrated and angry today. Like, I know he usually appears to be that way, but, like, a lot of contests and also clearances and stoppages, and he was facing the other way. Like, all these kind of little things just looked like they weren't on between the ears today. And when you're not switched on, it's hard to put in the effort that's required. And I just felt like that they weren't switched on, and you can't put in the effort if you're not switched on.
You just don't know how big the Yowie thing took a bit of a toll, because he's such a popular player in the squad. Everyone feeling for him. Craig was well known around the club. Whether it just emotionally after 5 days, it just 6 days means it's Monday night. Whether it just got the better of him, I'm not sure. Just not sure at all. But it was terrible. That was a game you don't want to rewind.
And it felt like, like watching one of last year's games, or like I said, the last couple of years' games, which we haven't seen this year.
Yeah,
I don't reckon.
Other than that Adelaide result, and that's we know West Coast.
But that was over there.
Yeah, obviously just watched.
You were
it on
there.
television. No, I just watched it on the television, and even on the television, it was.
That's what it looked like. Hey,
looked like that.
Sometimes you get to the back of a match and you walk in and you go, okay, throw it in the bin. But I'm just wondering whether you get that one and say, okay, we're going to watch Hawthorn and just watch how they worked. And that's the level you got to get to. They've just gone past us on today's effort. We were roughly in the same area as them, coming out of COVID and all the injuries, but they've
gone like that. Hey?
Oh, they've taken a few steps ahead of a number of teams.
They're great to watch.
Yeah.
They are great, and I like the Watsons and the Ginnivans. I like a bit of showmanship after a goal. I really enjoy watching it.
And you're right about. They talked about what they want to do, but they're active. They've thrown it out there. We want to try and get Josh Battle out of St Kilda. They're telling everyone this is who we're going for. Because I reckon they're letting them know. You want to come and join us because we're on the up. So they're selling themselves and they're getting the job done.
If you're a Hawks fan, you've got every right to be pretty happy about how things are at the moment. We'll head down into the Eagles' rooms when we can. They're still in a meeting at the moment, but been told we might have Jeremy McGovern. We'll head down to Mitch Turner, who's down there in just a second. If you'd like to send us a text, 0437 774 774. Clint Wilden alongside Sharad Wellingham, Collingwood Premiership player, and Chris Waterman, dual Premiership player with the West Coast Eagles. Brett says, hi guys, texting in from Canberra. I'm not a West Coast fan, but to me this is all the hallmarks of a frustrated team. Even Harley looks frustrated. I think they need a changing of the guard coach-wise. That's from Brett.
He did look frustrated and
Harley
was interested, didn't he?
Yeah. Listening on the radio in the country, didn't hear many of the experienced players getting their names called. Well, that's because they weren't getting their hands on the football. Weren't calling too many West Coast players' names full stop because they just weren't getting anywhere near it. Damien says, g'day Clint. Do the Eagles play the way they did against the Dockers? And then for the last 2 weeks, is it about the psychology behind it? Because they were a different side in that game against Freo, and they were a different side in that game against Melbourne, which is when you get to that level and you see that level of performance compared to what we saw today. And there were, without trying to overcook it, there was genuine hope around this football club for the first time in a couple of years after those efforts.
There was hope and excitement and enthusiasm.
I'm not even that worried about the loss to Collingwood when they lost by, I think it was 11 goals, but there was still effort shown.
That was a head case game today. Something's got to him, and I'm not sure whether it's the group itself? Is talked about the Yowie thing, or is there players that are getting games when they shouldn't be? Are other guys outside the squad playing good waffle footy and not getting a look, and it's getting the better of the squad internally? I'm not sure what it is, but it looked disinterested today, and they got most of their good players out there.
Kate from Queensland, we're a happy team at Hawthorn. Thank you, Kate, for getting in touch. You've got every right to be. They're just showing the way that you can go about a rebuild. Brendan from Hobart, hi, I'm a Pie supporter. I still can't believe the fall of grace from the Eagles of 2018 to now. It's just staggering when you compare that to what the Pies have done. And Kay asks a question that we're all trying to get to the bottom of, and none of us have an answer. Why is West Coast so woeful? That's Kay texting in 0437 774 774. That's
a big long one.
It's a fair question. That is a very, very long text. Shall I have a crack at it? Let's have a go.
Well, what have the Pies done differently to West Coast since 2018? Come on, you two. They've done one thing different.
Well, I've won a flag.
2.
Revitalise themselves with a coach.
Yep. Change their coach. So Nathan Buckley was minutes and points away from being the premiership coach of that year, and 2 years later was out.
Yeah. It certainly does make a difference.
But I feel like he'd lost the group a bit. He didn't.
But he also said, I remember in his outgoing interview, he said there's a very good team in there.
Yeah.
And there was. He knew it, and he was probably been there long enough, so the question's got to be asked.
It's the 11th season that Adam Simpson has been in charge. A few more performances like that. And I think the Eagles board, they backed him. They decided that he was their person.
For this year.
And he still has a contract for the following year as well.
Yeah.
So we do see clubs happy enough to move on coaches with 1 year to go in their contract because they can divide their salary over the next 2. The AFL has signed off on that. In fact, it was Hawthorn who set that trend when they were able to divide Clarko's salary over 2 years for his final deal, so it doesn't impact your soft cap that much. But, yeah, Adam Simpson, he's not foolish. He would know a few more performances like that, and he will not be the coach in 2025.
You can understand what's taken place and through that COVID and that injury, the train wreck a couple of years ago in that derby, but with only 3 or 4 names on that injury list, is there, as I said, is there a mulligan today? But they're coming off a pretty good effort against Essendon last week. That only inaccuracy may have cost them the game. They were pretty good. So that's where the problem is now. You're getting up to little injury lists. You just about got everyone right. Is the ones that are injured, is there anyone that could come in and impact? Not sure. Waffle team's better today. There's guys in there getting touches, so that's where you're at the stage now, as you said. That you can tolerate certain things, but today you can't. But if this continues, that's where there is problems when the full list just about is ready to go.
It's recapping the results today. Hawthorn, big winners over West Coast, up by 61 points. 14-10-94 to the Eagles, 4-9-33. Carlton, too good for Richmond, 20-11-131 to 10-10-70. So the Blues by 61 points at the MCG. And at the Docklands, Port Adelaide just got home against the Saints in a tight one. Port by 2 points, 8-14-62 to St Kilda's 8-12-60. Let's head down into the West Coast Eagles rooms. Mitch Turner is down there and he's been joined by a special guest. Mitch.
I've got Eagles defender Jeremy McGovern with us, Clint, after what was a really tough day for the club. Jeremy, I guess, how do you summarise and reflect on that performance today?
Yeah, it was shocking. Yeah, it was a very poor day all over the ground. So that's the thing. We're going to have to reflect on it. We're going to have to dig a bit deeper and figure out the reasons why. But also at the same time, Hawks played a good brand of footy, which we couldn't keep up with. So, a bit of searching to do individually and as a group.
Spent a long time behind the closed doors then after you came into the rooms. Was there a long chat from Simo? Was there a chat from amongst the senior players in the group? What was kind of the messaging there immediately after?
A bit of everyone. We obviously caught up in our lines individually and just trying to get on top of why we performed so poorly today. Obviously, everything's pretty fresh. No one really has the answers right now, but we'll dig into it throughout the week and early on in the week to figure out and go back to work, get back to training, and start working on it as soon as we can because, I think we're not too keen to keep losing like that.
Before I throw you upstairs, just a tough one, but a really tough week for Elliot Yeo, who's you've played a lot of football with. You're close to him, around him for a long, long time. A tough week, a tough day for him today. His family was in here earlier. How's he going, and how much the club and the boys getting around him right now?
Yeah, look, we're going to support him as well as we can, but get a way to look after him and help him when we go out and perform like that. Personally, it hurts you, but we'll do whatever we can for Yowie. We'll support him as well as we can. And it was just brave of him to get up. I know how much his old man meant to him. So it was pretty brave of him to get up and try and perform for us today. But we'll look after him as well as we can.
I'll throw you upstairs to our experts, Clint Wheeldon, Sharad Wellingham and Chris Waterman.
Gav, it's Muddy. Did you see that one coming? Did you feel it was like that in the Maroons before the game?
No, I didn't. I felt like the boys, we prepared well. We did everything we could throughout the week to try and prepare ourselves as well as we can for Hawks. We obviously knew they were going to be their form that they were in and what they can do, but I think early we sort of matched them in a fair few areas and we're holding on there for a little bit, but after half-time they really showed their class and we couldn't keep up with them, which is really disappointing.
And you know what it's like in footy when it rains, it pours. You've copped another one right in that rib cage. How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's just it always hurts a bit more when you get thumped, mate. That's for sure. But I'm all good. I'm all right. I'll play the rest of the game, but we'll recover this week and get ready for Melbourne.
Gav, Shaz here. Commiserations on the loss, mate. The clearance numbers in midfield just got absolutely decimated through there. You couldn't get hands on the ball. At what stage was there an idea to change things up through there? Because it just looked like we were banging head against the wall a bit.
Yeah, well, I was feeling it. We were feeling it firsthand down the back line, that's for sure. But that's probably more a coaching staff thing. Like for us down back, we're just trying to do everything we can to try and stem the flow. But those, I haven't seen the exact numbers, but it felt like we got dominated in there throughout the night. So we'll have to reflect on that.
38-21 clearances.
Yeah, there you go.
That's why I was coming down on your head all day.
Yeah, well.
Is there enough versatility to flip things around and change things up?
I think we do. I think it worked pretty well last week at stages. Obviously, we got Liam in there and Tyler Brockman through there. It's very hard for me to judge early because I haven't seen the whole game and dug into it. I was just trying to worry about stopping it, going through the big sticks. But
don't watch too much.
Don't watch.
Yeah. And look, I shouldn't be laughing. I don't want to joke about it either with the mids, but that's probably an area we'll have to look at. I think we only had 33 inside 50s as well. So, there's some big areas where we need to look at holistically, but that's where the game starts. It does start with the mids, so we'll probably start there and reflect on that.
Well, we were talking before. If anything, you watch the replay, you just watch the Hawthorn guys and just see how hard they worked in the midfield, and that's sort of where they won and lost the game, really.
Yeah, and you can't take any credit away from that.
Absolutely.
Either as well.
They were up and about.
Yeah, we're going to take our hats off to the way that they played, and they played at a high level, and we couldn't match them. So and we probably got what we deserved in that area.
Yeah, well. Luckily, you're going over to Melbourne to play Melbourne next week, so they're a bit of a downer, but you can't take them lightly. But you can only just look upwards and onwards from here on out, I'm guessing.
Yeah, look, we just got to knuckle back down, get back into training, review as hard as we need to, and keep moving forward and try to put our best foot forward next week against Melbourne.
And Flinny all right, ankle injury.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. There was boys coming off left, right and centre for a couple of minutes there, but I've seen him on the crutches, so hopefully it's not too bad. But, we need him as much as we can, but hopefully it's not too bad.
Good fine session coming up.
Yeah, I know, we've got a few. I think Jakey
stitches.
Jakey's got stitches.
Yeah, get him for each stitch, mate.
And we've just upped it now as well after he got a few, so it's $100 now. Yeah, inflation. Yeah, bloody hell.
Jeremy Clint Wilden here. Look, we appreciate the fact that you front up, and I don't think we didn't remember that when you got what happened in Adelaide, you were prepared to front up again as well. Really admire the fact that you're prepared to speak to your supporters after a loss like that. There was such hope around the club after that Melbourne win. Everything seemed to be on the rise. Can you put a finger on what happened since then? Why there's been this, I guess, downturn in results and performances?
Look, nah, I can't. If I could, I'd be trying to stop them. I can't put an exact finger on it. Obviously, there's different things and different circumstances, and teams throw different things at you. And I think at the moment we can't adapt well enough in games when things are thrown at us and different dynamics and different midfields and different ways of moving the ball. So and that's a little bit of a young team as well. We're trying to get some key areas right, which we probably took our foot off the pedal, not took the foot off the pedal, but lowered our colours in some key areas that we want to get better at the last few weeks. But it's very hard to put a finger on exactly where we've gone from that day. But we've got an opportunity to bounce back this week. But
just a side to that, is the enthusiasm and vibe inside the four walls of the club still up and about? I know you're talking, Clint, about how it feels looking at the club, but internally you're still up and about, and like you said, you came into this game expecting to go out there and perform. Are you still getting that vibe each week?
Yeah. Look, you can't throw the toys out the cot. We've still got eight or nine games to go. There's no point sooking and whinging about everything. We've got to stay strong, which I think we've done really well over the last few years, is stay strong and keep trying to improve as much as we can. And at the end of the year, that's a time for everyone to sook and whinge and carry on to each other. But in the time being, we're going to do everything we can to keep performing, one for our fans and one for us to keep getting better and come out of the back end of the year with something to be raving about and something that we've really improved on.
Admire fronting up, Gov. Thanks for talking to us.
No worries. Cheers, guys. Good on you.
Jeremy McGovern downstairs in the Eagles' rooms. Plenty of players, plenty of clubs wouldn't put someone up afterwards, so well done for West Coast for doing that. I will get to your texts, I promise, but first, just want to hear a little bit from Sam Mitchell, the Hawthorn coach, is speaking to the media downstairs. Let's see if we can have a little listen to him.
Sam, can we start with your overall thoughts on the performance?
I think we defended quite well. We obviously restricted their score heavily. They only had 33 inside 50, so I'm pleased with that aspect of the game. Our centre bouncers started really poorly for the season, but we're slowly chalking our way back. So we had a really good performance in that area of the ground. I just thought we looked like a tough side today. There was a bit of physicality in the game, and I thought we handled that pretty well. And a lot of missed opportunities, especially early. But I think anytime you go to Western Australia and you play against West Coast on their home deck, it's a tough day. It's a long time since we've won out of Victoria or Tassie, and I was really pleased that the players were able to respond off a bye with a challenging environment against the side there. It's probably the best side they've fielded. They've had a lot of injuries, obviously, and they'll continue to get better once they play together more and more. But they've got some good players in that side now, and to be able to handle it, I was pleased.
What was the key to what your centre bounce guys did today? It was really one-sided statistically.
A lot of it was around the pressure and being able to, even if we didn't win the first possession, being able to nullify what they were able to do. But I think Miki had a good day today. Got his hand on a lot, and obviously when they have a ruck go down, it hurts them. So I saw him after the game; he looked pretty sore. So they obviously were a little bit limited with the way that they would have prepared for the game. But I was pleased that David Hale was able to get the midfielders on top in that area.
In the first half, going inside 50, it looked at times you were just going a bit too long and feeding McGovern and Barrass a little too much. What did you say at half-time that changed that and allowed you to change the angles, I suppose, and lower the eyes a bit more?
When we scouted, McGovern and Barrass are significant players, two of the best defenders in the competition, and we knew that they were going to be a problem for us. And, I think they had 7 and 5 intercept possessions. I think it was not too long into the second quarter, and there's huge numbers. So we needed to find different ways. We didn't plan to go in long. They just defended us quite well, and as the game opened up a bit, we found a few more holes. But they're fantastic AFL players, aren't they? So I think every team that comes over here is going to have trouble with McGovern and Barrass. Unfortunately, our forwards hung in there and worked their way through it for long enough to be able to create some chances and kick a good enough score.
Speak more about that
work in the centre with Warple's clearance work. Can you just touch a little bit more on that? That's a decent effort against a team that hasn't been playing poorly as far as the centre clearances and stoppages have been concerned.
Yeah, I thought our fast feet now, it wasn't necessarily a perfect ruck hit out to a perfect play. It was a lot of craft that they do, a lot of winning the body work, and they've got some great talent in there. Obviously, Harley's going to be a fantastic talent over time, but they got Yo and Kelly, and when Liam Ryan went in there's obviously got some significant threats with their mid. So being able to get after a loose ball was really important for us, and I thought we were clean. I think when you travel interstate and you play on a surface that you haven't played on before, sometimes your ball handling can lose its way a little bit, particularly early. But I thought our boys were really clean. I thought James was fantastic. I think he finished with 10 or 11 clearances, and he really led the way, particularly early.
Winning away from home, with what you're trying to do, with what you're doing with the group, how important is it? I think this is the first one outside of Tassie or Melbourne that you've won. Is it important? Is it something that you're going to celebrate?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we know that to get where we want to go as a side, we've got plenty of work to do. We went into this season thinking, all right, we need to put ourselves in winnable positions much more often than we have, and we've been able to do that for the most part. But there's lots of stepping stones to become the team that you want to be, and one of them is obviously winning on the road. You can't afford to be a team in this national competition that loses away all the time, and that has been us, unfortunately. So it's a step forward for our maturity today. That we're able to get a win on the road, and hopefully that's the first of a run, because we're going to have to play more interstate games coming up, and we need to be able to win them on the road. That's what the best sides do. It doesn't matter where they play, they can perform, and we haven't been that just yet, but that's what we're working towards.
Do you feel like you belong in the top 8 now that you've proven that you've got the kettle to do that?
I don't know. I haven't looked at a ladder just yet, but I wouldn't imagine we're even close to the top 8. I think we're probably still 12th or something. So I think you get what you deserve in the game. So we deserve to be where we are. We haven't been consistent enough, and we haven't played at our best often enough for the whole season, because it's a long year and you don't get to just win different parts of it. You only get to win over the whole journey and then right at the end. So, we know that every game for us is important, and talking to our players, they actually are loving that, because it's been a fair while, and certainly in my coaching time, we've never been in a position like this where every game really matters for your season. And so that continues to be a challenge for us, but the boys are thriving under that environment at the moment, and we have obviously coming off a bye and then playing in Perth is a challenging little period. You don't know how you're going to perform off a bye, particularly with the travel. So I was really pleased that we were able to put the right foot forward, but we're still far from. I still watch the best teams in the competition and think, they're a bit ahead of us right at this moment.
And Sicily, how is he, and how serious is the injury?
I'm not sure. He was telling me that he wanted to come back on, but I thought we started him on the bench. Just I didn't think the game was quite over at 3/4 time. I thought they were still with a home crowd, and they get a quick goal or two that we would have put him back out there. But once it sort of went 5 or 6 minutes, we decided, okay, I think we can afford to potentially leave him off. But he'll have assessments through the week, and we'll see how he goes.
Did that shoulder actually pop out?
Oh, I'm not sure. I haven't had a medical update. He looked a bit uncomfortable, but he didn't look too bad. He still had his arms above his head, and so we'll be hopeful. I'm not sure.
Sam, you considered the form team one of the form teams of the competition. How great is that for a young side to really have that confidence sort of rolling on?
Yeah, I think, confidence is one of those intangibles. We talked about it before the game, actually, about when you're playing to state, one of the things that can strip of you is confidence, and that we deserve to feel confident, but that doesn't give you the right to be complacent, and that sometimes can be a fine line. So, I think I love that our players play with an enormous amount of confidence, and so long as we keep it as confidence and not as complacency, then I'm all for it. And I think that's when we've played our best footy, and that's going to be continue to be a challenge for us over this next block.
That's the end downstairs of the Sam Mitchell press conference. Let's get the votes. ABC Football of the Year and the Christian Medal, Chris Waterman and Sharon Willingham. What have you got?
We've got one vote. Is my mic on? There we go.
That helps.
We've got one vote for Dylan Moore. Thought he played a great game. 2 votes for James Warple.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 votes for Jay Newcomb.
John Newcombe. Okay. What about for the Christian medal, which will be more of a challenge, I would imagine?
It was a tough one.
It was a tough one, but in the end, this won't surprise you, we've got 3 defenders that are going to get the votes because that's where the ball was. We've gone 1 with Liam Duggan, 2 with Jeremy McGovern, and 3 with Tommy Brass. That ball was coming in. I think they had how many intercept marks between them? Double figures, particularly early, Gov and Brass, and they held them up. It could have been, we were talking before, it could have been 150 points, one for those 2.
Sneak a little bit of the West Coast Eagles press conference in. Here's Adam Simpson.
Well, Simo, just to start, obviously hugely disappointing result today. What are your thoughts on that one?
Nothing good come out of today. No, disappointing in every facet from the start to the finish. So, and the Hawks are really good. Transition better than us, cleaner, beaten in the midfield. Couldn't get it out of our back half, and we couldn't convert the other end. So, everything that we tried didn't work. The things we've been chasing from the start of the year, the little things, we're not there, and until we get consistent at those things, we're going to struggle. So we're disappointed. I think on paper the team looked pretty good, but we got taught a lesson in work rate today.
Was it purely mindset and hunger? That was.
You hate to use the word hunger, but I think we just got outworked. So. Yeah, every area of the ground was poor. So, and the attitude, sometimes you can point your finger at that, but I think we just got outplayed.
The clearance numbers in particular, I think it was 38-19, 14-4 centre clearances. Why do you think there was such a huge disparity?
It's dominant, yeah. The scramble, so the perhaps not the flush clearance, but the second and third phase around a centre bounce, which. We work really hard on, and we've had some pretty good weeks through there. We couldn't maintain it. And I think if you're minus 12 at clearances, when you think about how long it takes to get it back in your half, if you're starting with back half transition, that's not where we're at the moment. We're trying to play the game in the front half, and we want to do that through the contest and clearances. So the opposite to what we're trying to do happened today, which you could definitely say we're pretty inconsistent. I think last week we had a good swing. For 3 quarters against North, we were poor, but the last quarter we got going. So there's been periods throughout this year where we've been really good in that area. Maybe not for 4 quarters, but we'll take away a half or a quarter or 3 quarters.
Like what Adam Simpson said at the start as we leave that press conference, nothing good came out of that today.
He hit the nail on the head. He said we got outworked.
Outworked.
That's all he had to say. I mean, we saw it all day, and we sat in this box and cringed. Imagine being in that box all day, knowing full well your players haven't turned up, your hands are tied, they could not do a thing, so they were gone. And he's a realist, he knew. So
as a coach, he would have been frustrated. He would have just been pulling his hair out saying, fellas, get to work.
Where did we go? There would have been blokes up there going, why don't we do this, why don't we do that? And he would have been thinking, it doesn't matter what we do today, it's not working.
A few texts before we depart. I did promise we'd get to them. Pete from Ballarat says it's 5 degrees Celsius here, so it could be worse, Perth people. Genuine respect for West Coast and Jeremy McGovern for an honest perspective. Take it from a Hawk fan. Last year and the one before, we were winning 2 to 3 games a season. It can turn around. Also, young side adapting to travel. Stick fat, Eagles fans. Nick Chapman from Condon up east in Esperance. I'm an Eagles supporter and I don't believe in sacking coaches too quickly, but no other club would have stuck with the coach for this long. I understand we've had injuries, but I believe it's time for a change. Who would believe it, says Phil Werribee. 2 games, won and lost by 61 points on the same day. Simply amazing. It's absolutely correct. Carlton getting over Richmond by 61 points. It's also amazing, if you like these omens, both Carlton and Hawthorn have now won 5 straight games. Ooh. So there you go. What's that numerology thing?
Numerology. Spooky.
I tell you what, if Fox Footy's numerology don't pick up on that, then they're just not trying hard enough.
I'm not following up.
I know it's footy today, but you missed the trick by not noting this. Maybe worth a mention. Sad news last week with the passing of Frank Duckworth. I think we did mention that during the week. One half of cricket's controversial Duckworth-Lewis method development team. It's now a third because it's Duckworth-Lewis-Stern.
Yep.
The formula is used to adjust run chases and limited overs matches have been held up by bad weather. The funeral's to be held this week Organisers have said if rain interrupts the service, it'll be reduced from 60 to 45 minutes, with each speaker to deliver no more than a 3-minute eulogy instead of 5. That's Glenn of Yonka.
That's actually quite good.
Come on, that's good.
That is good.
Come on.
It's good.
Even a Cash laughed at the back.
That
of
is
the
You got to have a laugh.
I would just say to Hawthorn fans while we're going through the text, just chatting to a few of the players and people around the rooms, obviously they were disappointed with their performance, West Coast. They took nothing away. There were a couple of comments from players after that said, they are a good side, Hawthorn. They said they add 1 or 2 pieces, the right age group, the right mature player to come in certain spots. They will be a genuine threat to this competition. I know they come off and say it, but they were impressive up close. They were better than they thought.
Really?
Coming in. They knew they were good, but they actually were far more impressed up close with how good they were as a young team.
Dan makes a good point too. Another thing different at Collingwood since 2018 is a couple of top-level father-son players that they've had access to.
As they should.
Not a bad shout.
Hawthorn?
No. The difference between West Coast and Collingwood we're talking about. Enough. You and I disagree. We'll like going on all about that. Sharrod and I will never see the same.
We did tell Jake as he walked past, your dad's talking to the headset. Gov kind of tried to tell him, and he went, bugger off.
Done his media this week on the couch, and very good he was,
he was
too.
good, eh?
He was very good. Tim from West Hobart is an Eagles fan. Hi, team, great call. I don't mind the losses that come with effort, intent and drive. Your word insipid described it well. It was a terrible game. It was indeed. If you're a West Coast supporter, if you're a Hawk, you'd be delighted. And I reckon you feel the same way, because St Kilda Port Adelaide, from what I saw, was a stinker as well. If you're a Port fan, you got up by 2 points, you'd be pretty happy with that result as well. They're the results today. Port by 2 over the Saints, Carlton by 61 over the Tigers, and the same margin here with the Hawks over the West Coast Eagles. Chris, Sharrod, thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Hopefully next time we're all together. Slightly better performance out there on the park from whoever the home team happens to be. Mitch Turner, outstanding work downstairs. Also here in the box, of course, and so too to a catch photo to Adrian Sardi, who kept us on air, and to Jesse back in the studio. Thanks, everyone. Wrapping it up. Big win for the Hawks. They are starting to build to something, Hawthorn. 14-10-94 to the Eagles, 4-9-33. Clint Wilden on behalf of the rest of the team. Bye for now.